Hey, what's going on, everybody? Jesse James, Average Idiot, Eastern Kentucky's only, America's only AI-powered podcast, AI-powered platform. I am your host, Jesse James, the Average Idiot. Today on the show, we got LAWNSCAPES of America. You guys probably seen him on Instagram. He's got a YouTube channel, Virgil, and he's doing his thing. He sent me some stuff, which I really respect. He's a business-minded guy, the street sweeping guy, landscape guy. He pretty much does it all. If it comes to entrepreneurship, if it comes to business, he knows what it is. And with that, welcome to the show, Mr. Virgil.
What's going on, Jesse? Thanks for having me on, man.
Yeah, excited and talking to you, trying to set it up today. Before the show, I hit him up and said, hey, we got the set time, blah, blah, blah. And then Kayla wanted a pizza. And that's kind of like how life works. So, I mean, schedule these things out, try to make them work. Before we get into anything, because I want to get your backstory, I want to get your street sweeping, I want to get everything. But I just got to tell you, I appreciate everything you do as I follow you in the lives and stuff. I just picked up an X-Jet. You ever heard of an X-Jet for the pressure washing world?
Listen, I heard of it, but as everybody knows, well, a lot of people know, once people start talking about power washing and house washing and soap washing, oh yeah, listen, I'll fall asleep. I'll be passed out. You'll be talking. I'll be
right. And there's nothing wrong with that. But dude, like, I thought it was kind of like a downstream injector, and I started washing my house, and I put way too much hot of a mix on there. So if anybody's watching, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Links for your information will be in the description below. And you guys can go back and watch my other videos and then watch me struggle with this new X-Jet. I appreciate you guys. And I also talked with Matt Lawn Care Little Guy. I talked to Spencer from SB Mowing. Those are really good interviews. And when you guys go back and let them play. Need that watch time, dog. Need them hours, man. So you guys let them play in the background. So Mr. Virgil, well, after I've plugged all my stuff, I'm gonna make sure your stuff's in the description below right here in the corner. You guys will see a little thing. And if not, I was too lazy to put it in. But in the description below, LAWNSCAPES of America information will be there as well. So who are you? Where are you from? What's your story, bro?
Well, I'm Virgil from LAWNSCAPES of America. This is our third company. We sold two previous companies. Basically, like, I don't know how far back you want me to go.
Go
basically,
all the way, son.
Well, let's see. When I was a teenager, I was homeless, living in a bus shelter.
Hell yeah. I did not know that. So you didn't grow up with a silver spoon then?
No,
what are you thinking? Like, there's two different guys in business. There's two different guys in entrepreneurship, guys that come from business-minded backgrounds and come from not necessarily silver spoon. It's kind of derogatory, and I'm not trying to be derogatory. But when you grow up and this is what I want for my children. I want to be able to build a business and then hand it over to my son and then let the kids run it. But and then there's also guys, that's my story. And there's also guys that grow up and their dad's a contractor. They're going to grow up how my son did. Now, from the sounds of it, you kind of had a rougher background then, huh? Or how'd that work?
A little bit. Well, we all have a story, right? So I was a little rough growing up. I wound up being homeless when I was a teenager. I was living in a bus shelter for a while, and then maybe twice or three times I got kicked out of the bus depot. So I would sleep in the where people would sit waiting for the bus. Yeah. And no one's bothering you because you're passed out. They don't know who you are. So
yeah, a lot of people don't just being in that situation. I know what it's like to be in an abandoned trailer with no water, with no power. At my situation, I was strung out on drugs and I didn't want tomorrow. I would look and I hear stories about people who would like fall out, overdose or whatever. And I was saying, them lucky sons of bitches. Just because when life gets so bad to where you just don't don't care anymore. Yeah. And then that's where, and then quickly and everybody says, well, why are you getting all religious all of a sudden? It's like, it's not all of a sudden. I'm not religious all of a sudden. I'm just being a little more open with it. Because I've realized there's things in life to where, hey, when it says love your enemies, that's not saying be huggy, lovey, and go kissing on no, that just means forgiveness. And forgiveness is one of the things I couldn't do for myself. Forgiveness is things I couldn't do for people. I still hold resentment today.
Yeah.
And I try
Yeah.
really hard. And what's really, really hard in life is the greatest thing that the scripture can ever teach anybody is just being able to forgive them. And that's so hard. But anyway, so I did not know that about your backstory, and you ain't got to dive deep into it, but
Well,
taking that, it's hard to go from that to building
oh yeah.
business.
Oh yeah. Well, I was young, man, and then I uh I knew I had to make a change and you know do something, man. You know what I mean? So there's a lot more programs now, obviously, if you're homeless than there were back then.
Yeah.
And then mind you, I don't drink or smoke. I've never done drugs. So but I would watch small time little drug dealers, right? So I tried to justify it to myself. Well, listen, if I just rob him, take his money,
Right.
I'm doing something good, right?
Yeah.
So, well, I did that a few times. Listen, I've been shot, stabbed, busted over with a bat. Yeah, not fun, man, not fun. But how do I put this? I made some bank. And I was able to take that money and kind of turn my life around. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So um, I'll just leave that part with that. So
What gave you the idea to break into the green? And what was your?
I used to mow grass when I was a little kid in Brooklyn. I lived in Brooklyn. Believe it or not, this house is with grass. I used to push a little reel mower. I used to have to rake it up, bag it, and the lady would throw me down 2 cans of Coke or Pepsi. I used to hate it when she threw me down Coke because I used to hate when she would throw me down the Coke because it bothered my stomach. She would throw me down 2 cans of Pepsi, and one of them had rope band, had a $5 bill on it.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
so in
you took
Brooklyn, they have like 4 family houses. It's like 2 apartments here, 2 apartments there, or they'll have 6 family houses, which two, and they'll have small yards in the back. So, and the yards would face back to back. So I would just go there. Someone else used to do it, and then I was a young kid, and like when they would need like milk, she was an older lady, so when she needed milk or stuff, she would ask me, "Hey, can you go to the store?" I'm like, "Sure." So she lived like 3 houses or whatever. Anyway, so I used to love it. Like I used to pass by cemeteries when I was a young kid, and for some reason back then, I loved the smell of fresh cut grass. To me, it smelled like watermelon, right? So, dude, I used to just love it. Every time cemetery got the grass cut. And you can't even go in, like here, you can walk right into any cemetery. Oh, in Brooklyn, it's like massive steel bar. It's like Fort Knox trying to get into a cemetery. So you're literally trying to squeeze your head in. And I loved it, man. Ever since I was a little kid. Anyway, I got my life together.
right.
You know what I mean? And then a lot of distractions along the way. And then I met my first wife, right? And I'll tell you what, if I didn't get married, I probably would be in jail, locked, or dead. You know what I mean?
Did you take any skill set? Obviously, you became an entrepreneur in
Oh
your
yeah,
wilder days,
oh
for
yeah,
lack of a better term. Now,
yeah,
but you also, whenever you got your life straight and you got
yeah,
married, you realized I don't want to be that kind of business owner.
yeah.
But I do have a certain skill set that I have from when I was a kid, and that applies to the green industry. Did you utilize that in terms of your first marriage, or was you like working in a factory, or?
No, no. I was actually I got a job as I worked my way up. There's a company called Paper Enterprise. I think they merged with Consolidated Freight over in the Bronx. And I went from warehouse manager to operations manager, and I was making bank back then, man. My oldest, she was just born actually when I got that job, and beepers started coming out, right? The whole pagers, the beepers, the alpha pagers, and a buddy, a really close friend of mine, he got in it, and I'm watching his struggles,
Selling pages?
and I'm sorry, yeah, selling pagers, beepers, and back then it wasn't even before Verizon. It was Bell Atlantic. Before Bell Atlantic, it was actually 9X, and he was selling 9X, and he just started selling Nextel. Nextel, you didn't need a storefront to sell Nextel. You know what I mean? You signed, as long as you had a sales tax, full ID and paperwork, you're in. So anyway, I was like, so I was looking at how he was doing it and how other guys were doing it with beepers. And it was just like pretty much just a product on the shelf with some service. If someone came in looking for it or happened to come into your store, look for it, then they would buy it. So I'm like, you know what? Pagers and the Nextel radio is really more for businesses, right? So I was like, the everyday contractor doesn't have, they're busy working all day. You know what I mean? And a lot of times the wives are the ones on the back end, ordering the cell phones, the equipment or whatever, right? So, and I also noticed that contractors would have to get to the store before the store closes to get a beeper or a cell phone.
Was
right?
you still working at the paper place at this time?
Yeah. Yeah. I was just helping. It's just I was watching my friend at his store.
So your wheels are turning. That's okay. Your wheels are turning. Okay. That makes sense.
So I'm like, you know what? I bet you if I do this part-time, all I would want to do is just go after businesses, right? So talked to someone from Mario about it, and he was, how about, you run your numbers through me. I'll process the applications for you, and then see if you like it or not. And the agreement was he was going to take a small cut of the commission. Yeah. Some phones are really expensive. Well, just now because of the no contracts now, but before there was contracts, right? So commissions were ridiculously high. Verizon's basic plan for a basic $39.99 plan for a 2-year contract, you were getting paid $250 a line.
Oh,
plus residual. But cell phones are expensive. People don't realize it. A dealer might be paying the phone that you see in the store, like even now, the phone that you see in the store with service that might be going for like $200. That dealer probably paid between $400 and $500. That's why you have insurance off of cell phones. You know what I mean, to offset the cost of the phone, and that's why you have. That's why they have such a high commission. So anyway. Singular, I don't know if you remember Singular, when they came from down south up here, they were paying close to $450 commissions per line. So anyway, that's what I started doing. I started going after the Yellow page. They were constantly sending me the Yellow pages. So I went through the Yellow pages. I went after every contractor, every carpenter, every concrete guy, every electrician, everyone. And a lot of concrete guys, I would just drop off flyers that I made, and they were like, whatever. What I started doing was I would just stop. I would bring donuts, right? Hey, I'm in the neighborhood. Just want to stop by and say thank you, for at least hearing me out, and I would just drop them off.
So you were learning your sales techniques, on the fly, then. So you're learning. Okay.
But to me, and I know some people don't agree with it, there's got to be in it for somebody. There's got to be an incentive. So I got to be able to bribe them without money. What can I give them so that they'll get my attention? Because you need attention. I don't care what you do in life, you need attention. Are you going to hear the person in sales going, hey, or you're going to get the person that says, hey, you're going to turn around then, right?
Right.
So
real quick. I want to interject on that because that's beautiful that you say that. That's beautiful you say it, because whenever I was just a powder coat technician, I would go out to the assembly line and I would get my way a lot of times. These are things that I learned from a true leader. I've only had one other true leader in my life. He was my supervisor. I'd run through a wall for this guy, but he kind of taught me these different, well, now I know I'm a sales techniques, but I would go out to the bosses on the assembly line, and they would reject everything from every other paint leader. I was like a little lower tier leader in a paint room. Well, in order for me to get my lawnmower decks pushed through and get painted, to get onto the assembly line, get out, box and ship, I would show up with either something from the vending machine, Mountain Dew or something. And I say, hey, you're doing it. And then they knew when I was coming up, I was going to give them, it'd be like $1.50, but I'm only spending $1 or $2, maybe once a week, maybe once every 3 weeks, but I didn't get rejected, and I didn't have to deal with, hey, why is your defect sheet X, Y, and Z? And to come to think about it, that's something that looking back now, I've utilized a lot of what I've learned inside factories in my sales techniques or in my YouTube techniques, because even on YouTube, if I can't offer you something that you want, you're not going to listen. That's exactly what you're saying. There's incentive. Everything's incentive based.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Everything's incentive based. Go back. Sorry to cut you off.
That's all right. So that was my thing. You know what I mean? I would just drop off donuts and then and coffee and say, hey, I just want to say thank you. And my biggest thing was, I just want to say thank you for just hearing me out. That's it. You know what I mean? I'm down the street, and I would always drop off a flyer with it. But my flyers, right? I wanted my flyers to be different. My flyer was a menu. Every cell phone, everything was on there. Pricing, everything. So there was no reason for you to say, well, how much is it really? Or how much is, no, there's no guessing. It tells you all the phones, all the pricing, and of the unit, and which Verizon, well, it's not Verizon. They frown upon you giving away the car charger and headsets, right? Back then. I gave it away for free anyway, because I was buying it in bulk in little bags. I was buying it for like $1, $1.50 a piece. So the accessories are so cheap. Anyway, and then I found another company where I could buy the packaging, the blister pack, and I had my own little packaging. So I would just move the bag from the box into my own packaging, and it looked like everything, because it started off as Nicole's paging, and because that was my oldest, right? And then I had another kid. Guess what? I had another girl. So I changed the whole company to 2 girls paging and cellular, right? So I changed, and it's just a little piece of paper. You literally goes in and out of the blister pack. The packaging was so simple. Anyway, yeah. I would give it off. I would always offer it for free, and you would almost never see it for free, right? Because everybody wanted $20, $15 to $20 for car charger, $15 to $20 for a headset, right? And back then, everybody was wanting to build the leather case. Everybody had a leather case on their phone with a belt clip on it. Yeah. Guess what? I was giving it away for free. So, oh yeah, I gave away literally with every new, not upgrades, with every new activation, didn't matter what plan, with every new activation, you got a free car charger, a free headset, and a leather case.
Right. Good. You're looking big picture.
Oh yeah. How much? I'm saving you $60 right there. So, hello, you better be calling Virgil. So anyway, that was my niche. And that's all I went after. So anyway, I was getting so busy, and my friend Mario was like, listen, he wanted to open up a separate store, and he wanted me to run his store because of my numbers, because the store he was doing couldn't run the volume, right? So I'm like, nah, it's not what I want to do. That's not what I want to do. So next door rep came by one time, and he wanted to know from Mara, hey, how you guys running so many numbers? And then Mara was like, oh, my friend Virgil, we grew up together, yada yada. And so anyway, we're sitting down, and next to the guy's like, listen, I got an opportunity for you. Why don't you open up your own shop then? You know what I mean? Because Mara didn't want to really go after businesses anymore. He thought because I already got the businesses to run the numbers, that would be good. You would just get the residual off of it. You know what I mean? They'll come in for upgrades, or maybe they'll get a family member, right? I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go after all the businesses I left that I gave you a list of. I wanted to go after every business, every contractor of any type of contractor in the 5 boroughs. That's what I wanted.
Right. You wanted to
take over. I'm sorry?
You wanted to take over.
Oh yeah, the whole 5 boroughs. I didn't even care about sales-wise to take over, because I know it's impossible, but I wanted everyone to know who I was. I wanted my name to be synonymous with cell phone. Hey, you need a cell phone? Well, let me call Virgil real quick. We'll drop off 4. I just got to fill out the application. Because you remember something, with businesses, with walk-in, you're getting one person, right? With businesses, I'm reaching how many people at one time? Multiple.
Right.
And that's what you want to get, especially to get residual in the wireless business. To get residual, that's what you want, because you need at least 50 numbers a quarter, new, not upgrades, to get 5 to 10% residual off everyone's bill. That's not a bank. So my friend Mara was like, no, I don't want to do all that. I just want I just want like the family and friends from the people that you got already. That's to me, that was like small thinking. That's not what I want to do, because I knew long term that well was going to dry up.
Right.
And that's where you have to think. Even with, I don't care what business that you get into, what field you get into, there has to be an end game. What's going to happen here? You can retire off this. Are you building it? My mentality is a lot of times is I want to just build something to sell it. So you need to figure out what your end game is. How you got to think, well, how old am I? How long is my business going to last? How long is the service that I'm offering going to last? Is it going to be around in 10 years? Because you got to remember, so you have your family you got to feed, right? So you got to think 10, 15 years from now. Like now, stuff that we're working on now, we're working on for 2023. I'm not even worried about this year anymore because everything's already set in place. I'm worried about contract. All the contracts that I'm looking at now are for 2023. Wow. Yeah. 2022 is already set in place already. We're in April. So and I feel that people need to think that, because you need to figure out, hey, what's going to happen here? There's got to be some kind of end game. Your future, your family's future, your kids' future. What if, God forbid, you break your leg or whatever? There's got to be something there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If there isn't, then why are you doing this? Why are you on this wheel just pedaling your feet? You know what I mean? To me, it makes no sense. So, but for some people, if that's what they're happy with, then you know what? God bless you, all the power to you. It's not for me. You know what I mean? I don't want to be that old person in the nursing home, right? Because they say the cemetery is the richest place in the world because so many ideas die in the cemetery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Think about it. I heard the story so many times where, like all your ideas come out when you're on your deathbed saying it's your fault. Because of you, I never became something.
Wow. Well, let me interject there because I journal. I journal like daily, whatever. But I love to take a journal, and same way with the YouTube vlogs is somewhat of a journal too. But I was talking about from 321. From 321, I was talking that when you're in business and when you're in business, everybody around you that doesn't know how to run a business, that has never been in business, doesn't even have the gumption to start a business, they're all going to have ideas. They're all going to dictate how you should do it, whether it's them out of love, out of family. We're talking friends and family. Out of love, they're going to tell you what to do, what not to do, how to do it, because they, I don't know, for some reason. Yeah. But that just kind of brought that to mind, that family coming and friends coming and telling you how to do something.
We get in business because, well, most of us get in business because, well, we don't have a choice, right? We need to eat and feed our families. You know what I mean? No one wants to listen. I've been on the broke train. I don't want to be on the broke train anymore. You know what I mean? Because it's not just me. You have families. I mean, this is, and I spoke about this with so many people. Entrepreneurship is tough. You know what I mean? Especially when you're the sole provider. Because you're dealing with, oh shit, you know what I mean? How are you gonna feed your family? You got your wife or your significant other say, hey, listen, we gotta pay for this. How are we gonna pay for that this week? You know what I mean? So suicide is ridiculously high in entrepreneurship, especially when there's only one person bringing in income in the family. You know what I mean? Because you remember something, everything's on you. The bills, everything, everybody's on you. How are you gonna feed you? What if somebody gets sick? What if God forbid something breaks down? Something always happens.
Something
right?
Always happens.
So the stress is unreal when you're an entrepreneur, and I think a lot of people don't get that. You know what I mean? They're so in love with the idea of entrepreneurship because right now entrepreneurship is kind of cool, right? But they don't realize the pain that comes with it, especially. Listen, I'm all for jumping in. I'm all for the saying where it says burn the ships. I don't know if you know the saying about burning the ships.
Yeah, there ain't no turning back.
Yeah, no turning back, brother. So I'm all for that. However, you better have a game plan for a nest egg. Oh, so there's got to be some kind of cash flow coming in. Because if there's no cash flow coming in and you jump into entrepreneurship, guess what? You're going to experience a lot of pain. And now, if you're not by yourself and you have family, guess what? you just drug your family into that pain.
Yeah.
So you need to figure out a cash flow to cover your ass, or have some kind of nest egg. You know what I mean? To go, or have some kind of transition to go from one to the other. You need to have a solid game plan.
That's a great point, because that's exactly what I did with my family. I drug them right down in the muck and the mire. When my ego got expanded, because, and this is what I want to divert and ask you on, is employees, because whenever I was bringing people in, employees, let's use that term loosely. I'm not saying it was all, a lot of it was cash money, a lot of it, I don't care, it's what I did. And so, like, I was 1099 and some guy.
We'll go back to that. We'll go back to that. Go ahead.
Well, I took on their life and their friends and I took on their family. I took on their responsibility. I put it on my shoulder because I had a piece of paper, but I didn't see the black swan event of COVID. I didn't have a nest egg. My ego was so big to where there was everybody wanted me, but no one. I just happened to have. This is why I often talk about, like, the Tower of Babel, and I felt like I was Nimrod, the man of renown, building this huge tower, but I didn't put God first, or I didn't put my family first. I thought I could do it all alone, and then just a stiff breeze from above can just knock it all over. So whenever I was building my empire, I didn't realize how fragile the foundation was. You know what I mean? What do you think whenever you're a new guy? Well, I'm gonna come back to that in a second. Well, let's say when you're new in business, when you were new in business, or anybody new in business, what do you think about guys that are bringing in employees or helpers or whatever? Let's just use employees for the basic term, and understanding that they got to take on that person's life too, and their lifestyle as well, because you got to treat them good to be a good leader, right?
Listen, my wife and I, we would go back and forth on this. At one point we had close to a little over 50 employees. Actually, one year I think we had more employees for plowing for the winter than we did for the rest of the season. But you got to treat your employees right, man. I mean, we treated almost everyone close to like almost family. You know what I mean? There's one person that's in my life now. He's on my Instagram. He's on my Facebook. His name is Marquell. Dude, he's part of my family. You know what I mean? I put it this way: I will take his opinion over any customer.
All right.
That's how much I trust this guy with my family. You know what I mean? If I needed my kids delivered somewhere, dropped them somewhere in another state, another country, guess what? I have no problem. Marquell taking them. And my kids are older now, but even now they feel the same way about him. You know what I mean?
So did you pick him up as like one of your first employees in, or?
Yeah, we met a while back. When we got into the lawn care plowing business, when I got out of the wireless business, that actually grew to 3 stores. We had 2 Nextel stores and then we had the 2 Nextel stores sold Boost and AT&T.
Right.
And we didn't do T-Mobile, but we met the founders of how T-Mobile started. I met the guy who started Boost. People don't even realize how Boost is part of Nextel. But a guy went up, I'll make a long story short, a guy on the West Coast went up to Nextel and said, listen, I want to develop a program and cell phones just for kids. The kids are allowed to skateboard and surf. So Nextel says, okay, we'll sell you the airtime and we'll work on the packaging with you, but you got to keep it on the West Coast. So if you were on the East Coast, right, the only way you could buy those Boost phones, which were Nextel phones, but they had beautiful screens and shit, even the packaging was great, you'd have to go to a skateboard shop here on the East Coast, and your phone number was a West Coast phone number. But the phone was cool, the graphics were cool. Oh, Boost, I mean, they really hooked it up, the guy who started Boost. Anyway, I'll fast forward a couple of years, he wound up selling it back to Nextel, and then he was supposed to stay on the board. Nextel just pushed him out. They just pushed him out. And then it became, once Nextel pushed him out, they waited a little bit, because even we were like, well, what are they going to do with Boost? Because now we had quite a few customers. The profit margin is not that high. Your profit margin on prepaid is horrible. The cell phone industry now, profit margin is like buying your everyday electronic device. You buy it for X amount, you mark it up, and you make your little 10, 20. cell phone business back then, yo, you were making bank.
Right.
So, I mean, even on beepers alone, here, a little side note again, on beepers alone, right? We were paying $1.50 a month per number with voicemail. We were charging between $10 to $12 a month with voicemail.
Yeah. Wow.
So think about it.
92%.
Let's say you're making $7 a month of every beeper, and you've got 1,000 customers. How much money you got coming in? Forget 1,000 customers. Let's say you only have 100. Hitting 100 customers on beepers is not that hard, right? Let's say it took you a year to sell 100 beepers, right? Back then, to get $700 to $1,000 a month just for nothing, back then, that was a lot of money back then. So
that's still really good money. Now, I wanted a pager so bad in high school.
Oh yeah.
My buddy
So
Tim
anyway,
had one. He'd flash.
Long story short, I wound up getting divorced. I'd sell everything. So anyway, but before I sold, I got into the lawn care business, and only commercial, and and it just so happens where one of my I had quite a few customers that own lawn care companies up there. They were small companies, and same thing. I didn't want to do residential. I just wanted to go out to businesses. So before I knew a couple of guys that wanted out, right? And I was like, I need to learn more about the lawn care business. You know what I mean? So anyway, long story short, I wound up getting a job at I wanted to get a job at True Green. I was there for a while. I got a job at Natural Lawn of America. Now, mind you, I only got the job there because I wanted to know if their products were proprietary.
Right.
They're not. I want to know what their process was. So I know, not to screw it up, so I know how to do it properly. Think about it. I'm getting paid
for education
to get training.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Win-win. So that was my way in. I'm like, I need to learn this better. Who better to learn it from? Somebody's going to pay me to learn it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like getting an internship. So anyway, we got in it. And I learned real quick that when you start doing condo associations and stuff, not the ones that are owned by property management companies, but the ones that are owned by smaller real estate companies, everybody on the board has their hand out. Because it's always usually board members that decide. They vote on what contracts to get given out, right? So your average condo complex, like one that we did, you really want multi-year contracts. So like the one that we did last year, probably 2 years ago now. Anyway, you're mowing from March through November. You're not plowing. You're mowing, you're mulching, and you're changing the flowers 5 times a year. You're subbing out your weed control. You're subbing that out to True Green. Right? So forget the fert part for a minute.
Right.
Just for mowing, mulching, doing the flowers, trimming the hedges 2 times a year, and you're changing the flowers at both entrances and at the entranceway to the leasing office, right? You're looking at on like Rolling Hills in Monroe, if you look that one up, that property up there, that was $93,000 a year. So you're there for 6. We were there 6 hours a day, 6 hours, 1 day a week.
6 hours 1 day a week. Yeah. Well, that's kind of that's why I get jumped into the cemetery when on my YouTube channel. Everybody, what I didn't realize, and this is what I want to touch with you too, is entrepreneurship for the average Joe. YouTube influence can everybody be an entrepreneur? But before that, I thought I could be a great entrepreneur. This is where my ego blew up because I got this cemetery and I did it. I got it with one thing I learned quick is commercial rates and residential rates are a lot different, especially when you come to volume size. You got 31 acres, 91 total split between 3 different companies. Well, I thought it was going to be like 125 an acre, somewhere around there. It actually turned out to be like 60 an acre to be more competitive. So, but I made really, really good money. I was making like $1,500 a week off one account. I was there 3 days at about 8 hours a day, still a lot of time, but the money was there. Then I took on these schools. I got a random phone call. I guess the last landscaper jumped out. So when I got this random phone call for these schools are like an hour and something away, hour drive away. Wow, but I learned so much falling on my face. And that's where I want to transition into the next question. Can everybody be an entrepreneur? We see all these YouTube channels, my YouTube channel, everybody else's YouTube channel, that it's easy. The lawn care, everybody does it as a kid. Landscaping, throwing some mulch down, learning as you go, maybe get a job at like some landscape company, you learn, but not everybody has that mindset or the leadership capability and skills.
Entrepreneurship is not for everyone. You know what I mean? A lot of people fantasize the idea of, you know what, I want to be a business owner. You know, I don't want to work for somebody no more. Unfortunately, a lot, I'm not saying most, but some of these people that want to become entrepreneurs really should just be employees. Maybe high-level employees, maybe at a management level.
What they call intrapreneurs, something like that.
Yeah, because they don't, it's the pain that you got to deal with. You know what I mean? Whether if you're, like I said, if you're the solo guy and you're an entrepreneur, and if you're the only employee, and you're the only family member, that's one thing, right? But if you have family depending on you, guess what? That's a lot of weight on your shoulders, not including all the drama and all the problems that have with the business end. Because think about it, you have all these problems, whether you're solo and you're only doing residential, or you're doing business, or you're doing, commercial sites. Think about it. Things pop up on the business end, whether it be equipment, customer complaints, callbacks, and then you have stuff at home, right? You have a lot you have to juggle. You start compounding bills into it because you're the only source of income coming in. That's a lot. That's a lot of pain. A lot of pain for you, a lot of pain for your family. So I don't think entrepreneurs is for everyone. You know what I mean? Like I said,
I agree with that. That's a kind of a message, and that's kind of where I want to take my channel too. And I dwell on a lot of the hardships of business because that's the reality that I face and whatever a lot into it. But that's so true. And that's why I didn't hesitate to jump back into working in a factory, kind of reset and evaluate where I want to go, because I don't think that I'm the best business-minded person. I love sales. I try to be a great leader, but this is things I'm evaluating in my own life to where I can probably first, I'm not talking about the solo guy in a truck going out and making some money. I'm talking about from the guy that's like what Mike Andes is doing or what you've done, or someone who could delegate properly and moves. These are things I've really got to learn. Where YouTube, you look at YouTube, you watch the big channels, let's say like the Gary V of leadership and business. Gary V is going to tell you hustle, 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 grind, grind, grind. Don't eat, don't sleep. No one needs none of that. It's like, okay, but where are you at? Present in your family. That's cool messages. That's going to all these seminars and reading all these freaking guru books. That's great. Okay, that's going to pump you up. But is that a false sense of ambition, or is that a true sense of ambition? Are you present with your family? Are you present? Are you being a good husband, a good father? Because why do we start a business in the first place? What's the point if you're just gonna not eat?
I think people. For a second, I think people need to figure out what their game plan is, what the end game is, because and also depends on what business you're in. Because sometimes, in order to reach that goal, there's got to be sacrifices and there's got to be pain.
Right.
So where do you want to take your business? What's your end goal? Where are you taking this business to? Is there a pot of gold in there? I mean, you trying to grow it just to buy a house, or you trying to grow it because you want a future for your kids? What's the reason of you being in that business?
Right.
What's the reason? Is it you just need extra money? And then obviously, if you want to create something really huge, there's a couple of factors involved. You know what I mean? Is your significant other on board? Is your, because I'll tell you right now, if she's not, that can create some problems. You know what I mean? We got into street sweeping only because that bit constantly came up. It constantly came up because we did mostly commercial, right? It constantly came up. So when we had an offer to sell, we didn't take it, and then there was always like employee stuff going on, and we were dealing with a lot of property management companies. And unfortunately, with some property management companies out there, they don't pay, and they don't pay right away, or they pay you in drips, because in their contracts, it clearly states, and a lot of them have the same verbiage, it clearly states in the contract that they have the right not to pay you until their client pays you. right? So now the problem becomes, well, when we had like for a while when I met Mark, all we were doing was, well, the chunk of our customers was Verizon and CVS's. That's it. When I say Verizon, not the stores, I mean the actual buildings where your FiOS and your phone lines went through. So that was real simple for us to do. So and a shitload of CVS's. When you do CVS's, I'll try to find it. I've shown it before in my lives. You request what's called an RFP, request for proposal. So basically, it'll be like 10 pages, right? And it'll list the address, where they are, what services are for that particular area, whatever. And with CVS, it's a la carte and it's app-based. So basically, and the app has a geofence. So when you got there, your employees would have to log in, and it pretty much would let you know, the driver would have to pick up which CVS he was at, but pretty much it was on point. Right. And then you take pictures before and after. If you're mowing, took pictures before and after. If it was plowing, it had different options. How many inches? Pictures sidewalk. They do the sidewalk, the parking lot, whatever. Or if it was de-icing, and you just take pictures and you would submit it. And you have to submit it the app because you have to get paid. If they don't do the app, you're not getting paid. And what do? You have to hold your driver accountable. You need to make that sure. You need to make that ridiculously important when you get into that game, because your drivers have to know that, listen, if you don't, you can plow it, make it look beautiful. But if you don't do the app, guess what? We're not getting paid.
Right.
We have a problem.
Yeah.
You need to hold some, that there has to be accountability. And obviously write-ups. And then the problem is you need to have good record keeping, because a lot of times we wouldn't get notified like a month later from CVS. Hey, this site, we didn't get it from here. What the hell? Remember what happened yesterday? Now you asked me about a month ago. So,
wow. Yeah.
So anyway, so there's good and bad property management companies. Unfortunately, right now, it's 2022. It seems like there's more bad property management companies than good. I know that Johnny Moe is not a fan of property management companies, and I can understand why. You know what I mean? I could see why it puts a bad taste on a guy's mouth.
Speaking of snow plowing, I almost got my ass kicked one time by a snowplow guy. I got a call from a property management company doing healthcare, like old people home type things.
Yeah.
Dude, I needed some money. I got a phone call. I shot him a rate. And then I said, I can do it right now for a premium price. And I thought I was being slick and sly. And I was able to squeeze them in. I was sitting at home, not doing nothing, but well, I get there, I get the property done. I go to fill it out. And then a guy pulls in behind me with his truck, big plow, nice truck, big 1-ton truck. And he gets out and starts yelling and screaming at me. And I think I got some of it on video, but I was like, dude, I didn't realize what was going on, because he was having issues getting payment from them. So what they do, they just cut him out. And then they turn around. I didn't even get paid for that service. It was like 4 months or so. And I was on it. Like every week I'd send the same email. Then they started telling me to go talk to this person and this person and this person. And dude, I felt like I felt this small for taking somebody else's work. And he knew what it was after we figured it out, that I didn't just undercut him. I got the phone call, told him, and like he ended up feeling bad for me. He was in there yelling and screaming at them guys. And I just, I backed out, but I understand, because I didn't even they kept telling me that I was going to get paid by the end of the week. That's what they kept promising me. They said this guy was crazy and this and that. I was in the same boat as that guy. And then whatever. I ended up washing my hands. So I know exactly what you're talking about. And those stories are you prepared as a business owner to not get paid for 90 days? And I wasn't.
The what ifs. All right. So if we don't get paid after 60 to 90 days, what's our next step as Jesse's lawn care? You know what I mean? You need to put procedures in place. Get yourself a binder. I have a shitload of binders. I'll show you. Make the binders, go on Word, put the thing in front of it, call it a day. Make that your binder, put it in your truck or your office or whatever. Like we have MSD books that we always carry for the chemicals and shit. So you got to have it in your truck. It's got to spill or whatever. But I caught something that you said there caught my attention. You said you felt bad, right, for the customer.
Yeah.
I've heard this on other lawn care guys saying, well, I don't take work from other lawn care guys. Listen, just my opinion, right?
Right.
First of all, F all, I don't want to say that, I don't want kids watching, but F all those other lawn care guys, you know what I'm saying? They're not paying your bills.
Right.
They're not feeding your family. They're not making your truck payment, your car payment, your mortgage, your rent, your old lady, your girlfriend on the side. They ain't giving you the money, right? Guess what? When you're doing door hangers and EDDM, what if they have a lawn care guy and they took your postcard and they hired you? What did you just do? You just contradicted yourself. You just took someone else's work. Why? Because you probably had pricing on that EDDM or that door hanger, and they said, hey, you know what? Jesse's cheaper than this guy.
Right.
You know what? Let's fire Johnny Moe. We're gonna hire Jesse because Jesse's $10 cheaper, and he's giving us the same amount, and we're on a fixed income. You know what, Jesse? Come on, Johnny Moe, you're out.
True. And that's a great point, because I also want to talk about clients aren't your friends. And that's something that I struggled with. And
they're not.
Yeah, I struggle with that too, because I got all the sad sap stories, and I'm not trying to pile on, but this go around, I qualify. Well, I'm working on qualifying people getting in. Like if your house is filthy and your driveway's, for example, if your house is filthy and your driveway's filthy, but you only have money for me to only do your driveway, I just don't want my business to do that. How am I able to walk away from it? Well, I'm still working at a factory rebuilding, but I want to set standards for what I'm redoing this time. These are lessons that I didn't know. These are lessons that I didn't know, before. Like I would get these stories. Oh, my Billy got hurt and broke his leg. Well, I thought these guys are my friends, these clients. These are just customers. But the thing is, bam, hey, that landscape project, you told so-and-so can do this. And it's like, I thought we were tight. We're not tight. It's business.
No, it is strictly business. Yeah, they might come out, they might give you a birthday card. Like we like I used to bust Marquell's chops all the time, because for some reason, like we do a lot of house on golf courses. The ladies love Marquell, man. You know what I mean? He's like the I tell him all the time, you're like the forbidden fruit over here. We come outside, we got like beautiful cinnamon buns one day on the mowers and shit. Because we did the trailer, you spend a bunch of houses at one time. They're coming out to me, hey, you think he can come over and readjust my curtains or do this or do that? So every time he's missing, I'm like, yo.
Yeah.
Let me smell your hand. Where were you?
Yeah.
So, but there's no loyalty there, man. You know what I mean? I don't care how nice the customer is. Sometimes you gotta remember something. Life happens for them as well.
Yeah.
They lose their job, lose their income, they get hurt, they get sick, whatever. Or they want their kid to do it because they want the kid to learn responsibilities. Or maybe the husband or the wife decides, you know what? I watched Lawn Care Nut and I love the way he does his lawns. I can learn Lawn Care Nut. I'm just gonna do it. I'll follow his step program, a lot of his cool season or southern season program, or GCI Turf, another great guy. Dude, you can learn so much from those two guys. And there's nothing wrong with it. Listen, I came home the other day from street sweeping, right? I'm talking to a friend of mine. I just get home. I don't get a lot of sleep. So I get home, it's like 6 a.m, and I'm washing up. I'm laying down. It's like 7 a.m. I had to get up at 11. So I knew I was getting 4 hours of sleep. So I'm good. As long as I know my rules, my parameters, that's it, right? I'm getting text messages 7 and change in the morning from my customers. Hey, Robert, I want to do this year. What about this? They send me pictures from Lowe's. They're at Lowe's. Send me pictures. All I want to do is sleep, right? So I'm like, shoot. So I get up. I'm half asleep. I didn't even sleep yet. I'm like half. You know what I mean? I'm trying to focus on the pictures. I'm staring at the pictures. I'm trying to what the hell am I staring at here?
Yeah.
So I didn't. You know what I mean? I didn't go back to sleep yet because I'm trying to help my customers out. And it's not just him. Then another one. I'm like, oh,
yeah.
But it's a beautiful day outside. Customers outside. They're doing their own shit. Oh, I want to do this. I want to do that. So and of course me, I tell my customers all the time. Listen, if there's an issue, something you want to learn, you want to do, just let me know. Hit me up. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, well, that's a good point because the package that you sent me,
Yeah.
me and my wife was looking through it, my fiance rather, we was looking through it, and I was like, wow, like it's a business scripts,
Yeah.
business, like how to upsell the aeration, why upsell the aeration, what happens if I don't know, I don't want to give a lot away. I mean, that's something you're going to put together later.
Yeah.
But
That's all right. You
I,
talk about it.
dude, it's awesome because these are things that I didn't really know to sell. Yeah, and it's I look at it and say, I'm gonna stay in their pocket. And that's the feeling that I got when I was reading it, is because if you're not in their pocket, well, you're not getting paid, at the end of the
Oh
day.
yeah.
So that's when I was flipping through into the reasonings and how to lock it in. It's in at the bottom in bold parentheses. It said, say, okay, good. So you already understand the importance of a core aeration overseed, or you already good that yes, you understand. Yes, we did do it last year. Boom, you already understand. We're going to go ahead and schedule you now. Pressure sales techniques. Sales is something that I think is a scary word, or especially in the YouTube realm, or anybody who doesn't deal with it. Sales is a scary, tacky, nasty topic. No one likes a salesman. No one likes a lawyer. So these certain things like door-to-door sales is probably, if you're working on a neighbor's house, you run over
Yeah.
across the street, they see something done, more likely you're going to close that. But meeting somebody, sales is important, very important, especially with your own client.
But and I hear a lot. I've heard a lot over the years that I don't know if I'm not into sales because it was hard in the beginning. I was trying to figure out how do we put a sales team together. You know what I mean? We had one person, me, and then we how do we do it? How do we put this together? And then and I used to hear a lot. Well, I don't know. I'm not really a salesperson. I don't know if I can do this. Right? Listen, we sell every day. Right? You sold yourself for your fiance to date you. Right? You sold yourself to your parents. Mommy, I want this candy. Mommy, I want this drink. Guess what were you doing? You were selling. You know what I mean? When you applied for the job where you are, guess what? You were selling yourself to get that job, were you not? They were asking you questions. They were trying to qualify, right? And you were just trying. It was a sales process if you think about it. You know what I mean? People they need to look at it that way. We constantly sell throughout the day. We're selling something. Might not be for money.
Right.
You know what I mean? But we sold to get something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I tried selling myself. Listen, I stalked my wife. So, you know what I mean? I'm like, oh, and now it's the other way around. You know what I mean? I didn't have a choice to get married yet. It was like shotgun weddings.
Well, that's so true. The sales, that's where I'm looking at the different tactics of me starting this next business venture, how I'm kind of going about it. Am I doing it the right way, wrong way? I'm probably doing it through a lot of the wrong ways, but it's okay because I'm starting to learn a lot with it. So which is really good. But what about rate minimum whenever you're doing it? Go ahead.
With sales, one thing that's really important is follow up.
Yeah, I did that message today.
I'm sorry?
I was so nervous on a message today because the email, they said, can you give us a quote? And I was like, yeah, I sent it to you. I'll email it to you on QuickBooks. And they were like, okay, well, I never got nothing. So 2 days go by. Today's the second day. And I sent them a text message saying, hey, this is just follow up. Make sure you guys got my email. You can text, call if you have any questions or concerns. Thank you. Still never got a text message or email back, but that's okay. But I'm putting my prices out there to where
you followed up.
But I did follow up. Yeah. And I was nervous.
A lot of people don't follow up. You know what I mean? Like we follow up 3 times.
Okay.
3 times we hit up the customer. And always keep, I don't know if I sent it in the package, we have logs. And the log tells us when we followed up the customer, when, what was it, by email, by text message, by you know what I mean? So it's either by email, text, or phone call. So that should be in the log. That should be in the log that you should have a page in there, I believe, in the package I sent you. So because that's
I'm gonna send them another email from QuickBooks at just the estimate itself, just to kind of keep bugging them, because the wife really wanted it, and when I met the husband, I can tell he didn't really care. But she's like, well, they were both standing there, so he says, yeah, he give me his number and his information, not hers. So if I can figure out a way, and I know the neighbor really well. I ended up pressure washing his driveway to get into the neighborhood. I did it for free. He's a good friend of mine. I know I don't like to give work away for free, but it is what it is. But that's how I got it. So she's really excited about it. The husband's not. So this is my barrier right now. I'm trying
So
to
what
get
you
past
do
it.
is, so what you do is, the house that you power washed, go there, knock on the door. You're following up on the power wash,
Oh, okay. Just make sure.
right?
Yeah.
Then go, they just go out. And if they come out and see you, or they hear you, great. They might see your car outside. Anyway, talk to them. Say, hey, and then you might actually get a sale then from the free work that you did, right? But
Right.
follow up. Say, hey, just want to follow up, see what, whatever, walk the property if you could. And then if they don't come out, don't hear you, go over, knock your door. Say, hey, I'm sorry about that. I just happened to be next door, follow, and then I just want to see if you got my estimate, but you don't want to seem like you're pressuring. Say, hey, I just had to be next door, following up with them, we're going to stuff with power washing. I figured we knock on your door and see, just to see if you had any questions. And that's it, leave it at that.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Because I'm also going to go back to that neighborhood because there's a couple roofs that I want to
There you
sell
go.
some roofs over there.
And then when you start, and I know this is what, apparently I was told by another lawn care guy that he wasn't knocking what I was doing on YouTube, but he said what I do sometimes, if I talk about it on YouTube, it'll be frowned upon. Listen, I'm all for bribing. So listen, you can, when you start getting more cash flow in your business, right, you can always send a small gift of cookies, brownies from edibles or whatever. Depends on how big the contract is, money wise. So just send them, say, hey, just a thank you just for the estimate or whatever. Usually we do it after we get a contract signed.
Yeah.
But if you really want that contract big, strong enough, sometimes you got to do what you got to do. Listen, when we wanted, this is going back years ago, we used to give away gift cards to Macy's, like a couple $100 gift cards. And I was giving away $500 to $1,000 cash of flat screen TVs when flat screen TVs came out. And the way I presented that was, I would tell the property manager of that HOA, I would tell them that, listen, I mean, because I hate telling people I'm the owner. I hate it with a passion. You got to call the office. I don't know. You really got to call the office. I don't know. I'm just telling you this is our process. So I would tell everyone that let's say it was a cash sign-on bonus. I would tell them, hey, just so you know, if you guys sign by November 30th, there is a $500 cash sign-on bonus. I don't care what you guys do with it. Honestly, Fred, I don't care if you take it home, buy your wife something. I don't care what you do with it. All I know, it's a sign-on bonus for you guys. So once you guys sign, they do flat screen TVs. I'm like, hey, just so you know, hey, Fred, just so you know, if you guys sign by the end of November, we are giving away a 72-inch flat screen TV. Most companies just put it in their break room for their guys. Honestly, Fred, I don't care if you take it home, put it in your kids' room. I don't care what you do with it. It's just the company offering a sign-on bonus, for our customers as for an appreciation. Leave it at that. Don't add no more words to it. No, nothing. Guess what? You just gave him an incentive. Hey, listen, I got to sign him up because you give me $500 cash. Guess what? I'm going to buy this for my car or my wife, right, my kids, or I'm going to take that flat screen. Guess what? Forget my kids. Let's go into my man cave.
Right. Yeah, right. Man, that's a really good idea because you can even offset that rate to something else if someone's thinking.
Oh, yeah. We used to give away Macy's gift cards to get in the door. You
That's
know where I got that from?
Go ahead.
I was sitting I was at the doctor's office, right? And then I went to the doctor's office, and one of my customers was one of my Verizon customers was a pharmaceutical rep. And I was talking to him about it, and he was like, Virgil, he goes, we give away gift cards to J.C. Penney, and just they were giving it to the secretaries because they're the gatekeeper, right? They're the ones to decide who the doctor's going to see to see their new medicine, who's not. Once you get past in sales back in the day, that was a big thing. The gatekeeper. How to get past the gatekeeper? Well, money talks. You know what I mean? So that's why
I got two of these.
There you go.
I got two of these. They've been in my wallet for 8 months. It's $25 gift card to Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm not gonna. Well, especially now Kayla being pregnant. I'm not gonna use these. I can't. My kids are crazy, so I can't take them anywhere. Go ahead. But yeah, while he's gone, that's a really good point. I have it on me because I've had these right here, these two Buffalo Wild Wings gift cards for a while. So if I could utilize these in my sales moves, on, let's say I get or I'm looking to get like a $600, $700, even an $800 roof cleaning operation or roof cleaning job. There's no reason I can't give one of these away with it as a sign on, where it just offers some sort of incentive, some sort of bonus, some sort of something for that. That's a really good idea. I really like Virgil's idea on that. While he stepped away, what I'm gonna end up asking him is what he mentioned. Oh yeah, right when you got back. Perfect. I filled the time. I filled the time perfect. So yeah, I just, now that you said that, that's really brilliant. Like I was just telling the audience right when you stepped away, is like there's some roofs on that same street in that same neighborhood. It's not super up in, but it's somewhere I'm comfortable in going. They've seen my truck there a lot. My buddy lives there, go and drink beer there and stuff. So they know my truck. They know I do work. I've done some work for the neighbor. So now there's some roofs there, and we're talking $600, $700, $800 roof cleaning jobs, to where that's high end jobs, but that's what I want to target. And I think that they're willing to pay it. Like I can not raffle, but I can offer these off, or both. Even I can just give both of them away. It's $50. That's a whole dinner.
Yeah.
If I can get a $700 roof cleaning job, $800 roof cleaning job, give someone $50. No, dude. Yeah. The bleach. Oh yeah. I really like them. I really like that idea.
I did it because when you've got crews, right? Like let's say, listen, to hit 7 figures, you don't have to plow, even though there's snow in that area, right? So, and just mowing. So I needed to figure out a way, how do I keep, well, if I want to get even close to 7 figures, right? How do I keep my crews bigger? How do I go after these contracts, right? So I knew that I needed to go after the 50,000 and up contracts, seasonal contracts, right? I really wanted the multi-year, but in the beginning, especially if they don't know you, if you don't have a name with them, if you don't have references from other properties, it's a little tough. So I was like, all right, so if I'm going after like Rolling Hills, I think the L1 was like 93,000 for the year, for the season, without plowing. So in order for me to get these contracts, there's got to be incentives. You know what I mean? I mean, mind you, you might put out, let's say you needed 9, you might put out 30 bids, commercial bids or more. You know what I mean?
Right.
And there's a lot. There's got to be an incentive there to speed up my process, because I got bills to pay, man. So I needed to figure out a known system. And then when my customers was telling me, well, we give away JCPenney and Sears gift cards, I'm like, I got that beat, man. You only making $50. You're giving away $50. Shit, I'm like 500 flat screen TV, yo.
Yeah.
But he was doing it to get past the receptionist. I'm not looking to get past no receptionist. You know what I mean? I want to talk to when you're doing a walk around the property manager, that's the one guy I want to be able to meet in front of the board. And if I have to bribe somebody on the board, because a lot of these condo complexes, right? These people that sit on the boards, they get paid. They don't get paid. They're there for free because they're either renting out a condo or a couple of condos and they have tenants, or they have nothing else to do and they live there and they're worried about how much the condo association is paying for the roofing, for the windows, for the siding or whatever. They don't want to get ripped off. So, but there's always somebody there that's got their hand out. You know what I mean? It's usually the vice president or president. Dude, I learned it the hard way. I took it. I'm only using Rolling Hill for an example in Monroe because I lost it the first year. I got outbid. Yo, check this out. My bid, not only was I well known, but I had the bid. I had members of the board take me out for coffee to apologize that I didn't get the bid because they were investigating the president and the vice president of the board. Honest to God, true story. Wow. So, but I also took it personal because that was like, for me, that was like my trophy. That was my unicorn. I didn't care about all the other HOAs that I had. That was my unicorn. If I had that place, and you should not take it personal. I did, and I didn't get it that year. But they told me to wait it out, and I waited it out. And guess what? Come September, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Come September, when the bids came up again, because the bids for them come up in September. Actually, come up. They hand out the RFPs in August, request for proposals, and then you submit them by September. They'll tell you when, like September 13th, all of them have to be sealed. Everything has to be in there. Copy of your insurance, your workman's comp, the whole nine. So I made sure mine was ready, man. And I had a different incentive, right? I had an incentive for the property management guy. I had a different incentive for the board. You ready? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
I don't think you're ready. I'm gonna do it, Johnny Moe. I don't think you're ready.
I don't think you're ready for it.
Listen, a side note here. I love Johnny Moe. I don't agree with everything he says, but not everybody's gonna agree with everybody. You know what I mean? But I used to laugh in my truck. I'd be yelling at my phone. John, stop yelling at me, Johnny. I'm driving. Yeah. Stop yelling at me. Yeah. I'm trying, man. but I mean, a lot, like I said, I don't agree with it. No, everybody's not going to agree with what listen. There's people going to look at me and say to myself, there's people that are going to be out there, look at me and say, oh, that's wrong. You're a horrible business person, bribing people, whatever.
Right.
So my incentive for the board was, I would take the snowfall average, right? WeatherWorks can get expensive. WeatherWorks is great because they can give you exact numbers. They'll give you the weather every day. Every morning we would get an email with a sheet, and we would print it out for our foreman. It tells you the weather for today, what to expect, what it was last week, and yada yada yada. Anyway, and iLawn just recently got acquired by Aspen. I think it's called Aspire. Aspire is a new lawn care software. iLawn was what we used to use. iLawn was pretty much like the free one, like Google and stuff, where you can go online. Anyway, iLawn was a little bit more specific for the lawn care industry, but it can get a little pricey. Anyway, so what we did was, my incentive to the boards for the HOA was, if we didn't hit X, we knew every storm, every year we would hit X amount of inches, right? So, because the plowing was a separate bid. So now, if we got this plowing bid, now we're looking at 6 figures of this one contract, of one site, right? But with plowing, I didn't want to spread myself, I didn't want to be spread out like lawn care. With plowing, I only wanted 2 or 3, that's it. So because you got a dump truck, you got to move you literally had to, from these particular places, you had to haul the snow, couldn't stay there. Everything had to be hauled away because there was no room for parking. There was nowhere. They let me store the salt and my equipment there. They wouldn't let me make piles of snow. It would eventually it would have, it could stay I think we had 3 days, get all the snow out of there.
No removal, not plowing. Yeah.
That's removal, yes, off the property. So during the snowstorm, you had 72 hours from the storm ending. So once think about it, throughout the snowstorm, or once the snowstorm is done, all you do is plowing. You clear up sidewalks, walkways, all the parking, and then it's hard because some cars don't move. You know what I mean? People don't want to come out, whatever. And then once all that's done, everything's salted, and mind you, either you or your foreman or somebody, you got to constantly be doing inspections. You got to, constantly inspecting, you make sure everything's covered, because you don't want to worry about slip or fall. You don't want to worry about them saying, well, you missed a spot. So then you have to make sure you had a game plan, either yourself or had someone that you knew you're gonna have right away moving that snow out of there. That you knew you had sections where the snow goes, because when you're piling snow, for one, never pile it on top of the hill, because guess what? When it freezes at night and it's wet, guess what? It turns to ice. Now you have a different problem in your hands, right? So if you could, always put it at the bottom and away from any clear all drainages and all fire hydrants. Make sure they're never blocked. That's why we used to use 2 different color stakes, orange and yellow. Yellow was always for the fire hydrants and sewers. That was a video I should have did, because I see a lot of guys, they just put stakes on grab or whatever, the orange, they put them everywhere. No, we have the orange and yellow. Orange for your basic, your sidewalks and driveways and whatnot. Yellow always went by anything emergency wise. If it was a fire hydrant, drain, or if there was like a little walkway for a handicap. So after the storm ended, you had 72 hours to remove the snow. So if you couldn't remove it, we didn't, thank God we never had to, but we knew for a backup, we contacted a few concrete companies in September. And because concrete companies, what are they doing in the wintertime? They're doing nothing, or they're plowing.
There's a lot of construction guys plowing. Yeah. Tons.
So we knew we can count on certain concrete companies to move the snow for us we needed snow, we needed removed. So my incentive in the contract was, if the average snowfall for the past 3 years was 83 inches, and if it snowed 53 inches, and if I only had a 1-year contract and it snowed under that by, let's say, only sort of 52 inches, 50 inches, we gave them we would give them a slight discount, kind of almost like money back, or really, it always went towards a credit towards lawn care for the following year, always. So that's how it was worded. Luckily for me, knock on wood, we always got more snow. So, but in the lawn care game, lawn care on plowing, right? When you're bidding seasonal contract with plowing, the name of the way to make money, the less snow, the more money you make. Because you got to remember something, you're getting paid a check every single month. So let's say you put a bid in for the season, because it's a seasonal bid. So you're putting a bid in for, let's say, 60 grand, right? For the winter, for November through the end of March. So you know what I mean? So now you're getting, that check gets divided by depending on what the contract is, either 4 or 5 months, depending on how that contract ends, you're getting a check every month. So the less it snows, the more you make. You're not paying the guy, you know what I mean? You're only paying your guys. We always pay the guys a flat 8-hour rate,
right?
For the week. That was one thing we wanted to make sure from the very beginning. This is going back years ago. We didn't want to have to lay off. All we kept seeing in the industry was guys constantly getting laid off in the wintertime. What are you doing in the wintertime? What are you doing in the wintertime? Right? So for us, I needed a game plan where, how do I hire guys, but yet make sure there's work year round? Right? And that's where, when we got into starting doing Verizons and CVS's, that's when it came in. That was clear as day, because there's constantly work to do, constantly. You know what I mean? Cleanups. Listen, Verizon. Well, it was a seasonal contract, but Verizon pretty much said, listen, I forgot. It's not black ice. I forgot what it's called. It's pretty much like when it's foggy outside, but it gets so cold that the road gets slippery. Even the sidewalks get slippery. So what happens? They still wanted the salt down. So, and plus, there's always something to do. Trees, branches.
Right.
So, our theory was, my wife and I, that we wanted to make sure everybody had work year round, and that was our way to do it. So, but anyway, going back to the plowing, that was our way to do it. That was our niche, to try to get to the 7-figure mark on certain accounts. Because my goal was, it didn't always work. My goal was, I wanted to hit 7 figures every year, not take home. That was gross. That was the goal. You know what I mean? I want to live comfortable. I want my guys to live comfortable.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The minimum we wanted was at least 36 hours for the guys, so that way everybody still got their benefits. You know what I mean? Because you got to remember something. It's not just you. When you take on employees, right? Guess what? Their families are now depending on you.
Yeah.
Because what is it? 76% of Americans are paycheck to paycheck. What are you dependent on unemployment? Come on.
Yeah.
So for us, if they're on a minimum 36 hours a week, getting paid every week, right? This was the beautiful part. They're working every week. If something was to come up during the winter, like let's say it was black ice or whatever at certain sites, guess what? They're on the clock. I don't have to worry about, who am I hiring? Who am I getting coming in? Do I have to call a temp?
Right.
I already got my guys. You just change the schedule on, because everybody knows come snow time, your schedule changes.
Yeah, your schedule's off the wall.
Oh yeah. So, and everybody loves snow time because everybody overtime. So, but everybody knows your schedule changes. Now you're coming in the afternoon or at night to load up the trucks. You know what I mean? And then when you're done, guess what? We're washing trucks. We got to wash out the spreaders, the trucks. It took us a while, but we slowly developed the process. You know what I mean? Because I learned the hard way, man, with bulk salt, caking up on you on a spreader on a truck, and your guy calling you up, and you're like, oh shit. You know what I mean? So you learn the hard way, man. You got a truck with 40,000 miles breaking down and shit because of brakes and rust and shit. And you learn the hard way, different processes and different procedures. So
that's kind of the beauty of it. You mentioned something earlier that kind of stuck out to me, is you didn't tell clients that you were the owner. And I I've done that on a couple of different jobs before, to where someone said, hey, I don't know how they worded it, but I always just came off as, well, I'll tell the office that, or I'll relay the message. And then I would get a phone call, hey, your guys were just here, did a pretty good job, or hey, one guy did that. I was like, hey, okay, yeah, I'll make sure to take care of it. But most of the time it was just me. So
Yeah.
that was kind of something.
And in the beginning, when it's just you, it's just you. Listen, your customers will get accustomed to when it's just you when you're solo. But as you start growing, even if you got like 2 or 3 guys, no, you have to verbally move your way out. You know what I mean? Have you even your business card say that you're just the regional operation manager? You know what I mean? Listen, no one's ever going to ask for the owner.
Right.
I've been doing this for, how old am I? 51. So I've been doing this for 30 years, something like that. Dude, I've never once heard, 20 some years. I've never heard anybody say this, I want to speak to the owner. For lawn care? Never happens. Right. Never. Who's asking for the owner? What do you have? You're either having a lawn care issue, which if it's lawn care, you want to call back, whether it's mowing or there's weeds, because they hired you because they have weeds and they have bare spots. And if they fire you, they're firing you probably because they still have weeds and they get bare spots. So they're hiring you for a callback. If it's billing, they're not talking to you. You know what I'm saying? So there's no one ever asks for the owner. If you move yourself out of that equation on paper towards your customer, now you have a way out. Well, I don't know. If the problem comes up, this is our process. I apologize, but that's just how it is. I could talk to the office when I get back to the office. I can let them know. But honestly, that's our procedure. That way, you're not taking the heat, and that way you're not stressing out over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's really good. And a couple of little quick things. What do you think of rate minimums? Like I talked about this before, and I think for just mowing grass, like have like estimates and like minimum, like dude, like so everybody says free estimates, but I talked about that one guy, Matt, lawn care little guy. I said, yeah, just for mowing grass probably, but for like big landscape installs or for huge construction things, yeah, definitely charge. Like Ranger, he does. I think he charges like for a service fee just to show up, no matter if he does work or not. He's getting paid. But what do you think about that for like lawn care, or just no? It's keep it free estimates because it's so simple to barrier to entry.
Unless you're hiring, I guess it depends on where you are in your business. See, the problem is how are you going to hide or how are you going to charge the customer? Because I believe in the free estimate, right?
Right.
So, because I think, whether it's residential or commercial, properties have to be walked.
Right.
For a number of reasons.
But how can you charge someone if you don't have,
because what if things come up? Plus, on top of that, when you walk the property or someone or your employees walk the property, guess what? Now you have room to upsell. What if the customer didn't? Customers get, just like we do, get tunnel vision. When they come home, right? I'll use a perfect example. I use this example with commercial properties, with HOAs, right? You want the entrances and exits and the path to the leasing office always looking the prettiest and the cleanest. Because their mind is, when they're coming in, they got their family stuff going on, they got their coffee, the radio, what they got to do when they get in the office. Now, when they're driving in, guess what? Everything's all nice and pretty. When they go walking up to the leasing office, wow, nice, beautiful flowers, because you guys are watering them. You have a guy out there watering them once a week or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's all, to me, it's all mental. You know what I mean? So they get tunnel vision. They don't see the fucked up shit around them, right? When you're walking up to a property, what if the customer doesn't realize that this tree's got to go, or they got a bunch of leaves and shit that you know what I mean? They probably called you for mowing, but there's other things that you offer that they might not know that you offer services. That, hey, I also offer this. I also offer power washing. I can power wash your sidewalk or whatever. The room for upselling is endless. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at it. So I believe there should be free estimates because you got to walk the property anyway.
Yeah, you got to walk the property. I definitely agree. So let's fast forward a little bit.
A French drain.
What's that?
What if they need a French drain? What if water's sitting there?
Right.
Remember the mosquitoes and the Zika virus and all that? Remember all that shit?
Yeah.
So, I mean, think about it. So,
There's
hey,
always
listen,
upsells.
exactly. I can solve your problem. You mean, how many times your kids go out to play in the mud? I mean, I could actually take care of this problem for you. That way, your kids and yourself don't have to worry about getting bit by mosquitoes. And they'll be like, you know what? That's good because my wife was bitching about getting bit by mosquitoes every time she comes out here with the kids.
So how'd you break into the street sweeping? You said you broke into it because you there was always like a market for it. Someone was always asking you about it.
When we started doing this is going way back. When we started doing CVS's, right? They'll constantly send you stuff. Hey, listen, we're also offering parking cleaning. That's what it's under. You know what I mean? We need parkers cleaned. Do you guys do that? Do you guys offer that? I don't have time for that. So anyway, it started coming up, right? And then I kept blowing it off, and I was like, yeah, leave that for the street sweeping guy, right? So we started doing Walgreens, and I will never touch a Walgreens ever again.
Wow.
Walgreens, Walmart's, Dollar Generals, trying to think which other ones not to touch. They go to certain property management companies. Listen, if you want to work for free, you got nothing else to do, knock yourself out. Go do a Walmart.
Right.
You want to take forever to get paid? Okay, go ahead. Go to a Dollar General. Why do you think so many Dollar Generals look like shit?
Right. There's a lot of them that do, yeah.
That's why. And it's not their fault. It's the property manager's fault for not paying them. Because think about it. They bid to, let's say Dollar General. They'll bid on all the Dollar Generals. Let's say they're just bidding on just the lawn care, right? Because there's other positions. There's other jobs. There's janitorial and all this shit, right? So, if you want to get into janitorial and stuff. But let's say it's just for lawn care, right? What happens is they bid on it, right? Whoever owns Dollar General pays them monthly because it's all seasonal contracts. You know what I mean? Just like how we are. And then, so they're getting paid every month, right? So then, unless things come up like broken sprinklers or whatever. Anyway, if they're not paying the lawn care guys, guess what? That's what it probably like shit. Like when Danny told me last year, oh, I do Dollar Generals. I think he was doing Applebee's too, actually. Oh, because I get paid on time without a problem. Like, I said to myself, man, listen, I've been doing this forever and a day. That makes no sense to me. Who's paying you? Who's the property management company? It wasn't a property management company. It was another lawn care guy who had the contract. So, yeah. So basically, it was if I got the bid, LAWNSCAPES of America got the bid, and I would pay Jesse to go cut the grass.
Right.
I'm chasing the money, not you. I'm paying you. You're coming to me for the money. You're not going to one of these property management companies, you know what I mean? Saying, hey, yo, where the hell's my money?
Right. Well, these property management companies, they'll get like instead of regions, they'll get like every Dollar General in a huge region, multi-state region. Ain't that how they work? And then they
look, I should have been more prepared. I had a lot to do today, but I've shown it on some of my lives. The RFP, like for CVS, perfect example. When they sent it to me, there must have been like a couple hundred CVS's.
And you just pick them as you go through?
Pick them on, where you want to go. You figure out because I got maps here and all over my walls here. And it pretty much shows me where's what. So even if I'm second guessing myself, you're trying to figure out a route. Right. Basically, with the route, you want to be able to start like a U. You want to start here and you want your truck to end back here.
Right.
So that way you coming home is not that bad. You always want like a U when you're putting together a route. You don't want to go from farthest to back home. You know what I mean? If you could, you want your route to always be a U. You want to go all the way down to the tip and then work your way back. Right. Because think about it. If equipment breaks down or weather and you already finished halfway, all you're doing is coming back. You follow me? And you're only doing half the route coming back this way instead of going, you know what I mean? That's my method of doing it.
I like it.
Always, it has always worked for us. Always keep it in the U. You know what I mean? Find out where the farthest one is and try to make your route so that way you bang, 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 bang.
What do you do with clients that say, well, you have mostly commercial, but what would you say someone's like, well, I got this guy, most of these guys only want it on Tuesday, but it really fit. Or would you say walk away from it?
When you're going to go look at a property, right? I'm hoping whoever's listening to this, when you go look at a property, right? I'm hoping you have either a binder or a book or a chart like I do. I got writings everywhere on all these forms. And basically, you already know the schedule. So before you go visit that property, try to have in back of your mind, all right, this person says yes, where can I fit them?
Right. Where would they fit in the route? What route are they
Yes.
going to? Are they Tuesday route,
This is
Monday
before
route?
you even going out there, before
Right.
you even go visit the customer. After they give you your address, okay, if this person says yes, where can I fit them in my route?
Right.
You need to tell them where they can fit.
Right. Yeah, it's your business. Yeah.
Yes, you can't let your customer run your business, right? If they, for whatever reason, say, because we ask all the time, every single new customer, well, we tell them a few things. For one, I tell them I'm not for everybody, I'm residentials. And two, we always ask, when are we allowed and not allowed to cut? What days and what hours? So because they might have something going on religious-wise or family-wise. So then I tell them, this is when we have slots available. This is when I can fit you in.
Right. Okay.
You have to take control of the conversation. You have to tell them, because it's your business.
Right.
It's Jesse James Lawn Care. It's not Mrs. Jones who called you for an estimate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You have to take control of the conversation. You have to, but mentally, think about this for a second. If you know ahead of time when you can fit her in, when you're talking to her, you already know.
You're going to push her.
So as you're talking to her, it's already embedded in your head. Hey, wait a minute, I already know I can fit you in this date. Don't give her the option. Tell her immediately after you walk in and tell her, because she's going to ask you how much. And you can tell her, well, it's $35 to cut the lawn. And it just so happens I can fit you on this day and this day at this time slot. Does that work for you, ma'am? And she might turn around and say, well, you know what? Really, Friday is really good for me because I want my grass nice for the weekend. I'm like, ma'am, I apologize, but ma'am, just like lately, it seems like everybody wants to be on Fridays and it's only me and another guy, or just me. I can't do it.
Right.
You got to be honest with them. I can't do it. Because otherwise, you're setting, there's nothing wrong with being honest with your customer about it. Otherwise, you're going to set yourself up for failure. Because now, guess what? You're driving half hour, 45 minutes out of the way off the route just to make somebody happy for what, $35, $50?
That you might not even be there. Yeah. Totally.
Exactly.
Totally
so
agree. What do you think?
You're losing out on money, losing out on time. You're wasting time and fuel. I mean, fuel is a topic in itself, but I mean, people are crying now about fuel. Listen, I'll be honest with you. I don't care how people look at it. I don't give a rat's ass how much fuel is. I got to get fuel anyway. I need the fuel anyway. Right. And if people would go into something called Google, right? We look back a couple of years. Guess what? Price was what what they are now anyway.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. What was it, about 10 years ago? What it was?
Yep.
So I mean, like now everybody's like, oh, you got to raise prices. Fuel prices going way up. That's funny. They were way up 8 years ago. We were at where we are now.
People saying the same thing. They didn't drop their prices whenever it went down. They're like, it's like the government. So, once something gets in, it's never going to go back down.
Listen, this is another thing, pricing, right? You need to try to do it before your season starts, or maybe you can adjust it as your season's going in the beginning. Create a menu, your services, and what your pricing is. And go over your pricing. Make sure your pricing is where you're making money. You know what I mean? So you already have your menu. I don't give a fuck if it rains, snow, whatever. This is my menu, man. I know if I hit X amount of lawns every week, this is how much I'm making.
Right.
This is how much my bills are. This is how much I'm making every week. Really, every day. This is how much I'm making every day. Like Ray. You ever notice Ray talks about this is how much I'm making today? $700, right. $300, whatever it is. Listen, people should have that same mentality. How much am I making every hour and how much am I making every day? Just the way Ray talks about how much am I making every day. You're in sales. You're providing a service.
Right. You
have bills to pay. I don't care if you're working for yourself and you're not an entrepreneur. You still need to know how much your bills are every week of every day, every month, right? Because how are you going to survive? Otherwise, you keep falling behind the 8 ball.
Yeah. Well, so I'm in the process
same thing.
I'm in the process of developing another flyer, like the harder, like the half page flyer. I'm on Vistaprint doing it, but it's like it's kind of hard. It's nice. It's not your fucking piece of paper type thing, but it's a nice presentable flyer type thing. I mean,
What?
For just services that I provide. I'm thinking about putting my prices on it. Not prices, but price range. Like on a house, like you got your single level house, you know what I mean? I'm thinking about just putting it right on there. Like it's going to be either this rate or around.
I'm gonna show you something, and I'm gonna bring him Geek to Freak. I'm gonna show you something real quick.
Okay, right on. I miss Geek to Freak. He's got his look at that background era that he's got in there. Look like he's setting up his own studio or something that he's got going on. I don't know where he went to get, but that is something that I plan on doing. And a lot of people frown upon sharing their prices on banners because other people can see it or maybe, whatever. But I want someone to look at it and be like, yes, I want Jesse to come wash my house. And if he's going to charge me, I don't know, $300 for a single story out, because I don't know. That's right around where I want. Let's say about $300 for a single story home, flat ranch style home. If I put that on there, that they already know the expectations already met. But then again, I don't know. So anybody out there watching, anybody out there listening, if that's something you're into, maybe not. Let's see what Virgil's got going on here.
Side note, this is our MSD book. It sits in the truck.
Right.
It sits in your truck. We made this ourselves. Basically, it just lists the
material safety data,
chemicals that are in the truck, all the fertilizers, herbicides, whatnot. So in case company to spill, hopefully there's never a problem. All right, so Geek to Freak years ago made a video, right, where he would walk the neighborhood and he had flyers and he'd write down, he'd look at the lawn, and as he's lawn, well, I know this lawn will take me 10 minutes, whatever it is, $25, right. $30, right? So what we did was we wanted to make door hangers, right? I love door hangers.
I'm in between door hangers and my flyer. I'm in between them two right now.
Listen, when I couldn't afford to advertise, right, I took a paper route. I said two paper routes. I took paper routes in territories, neighborhoods that I wanted to hit, right? Because back then they didn't have like the internet. So I would make flyers and I put it in the first page as Daily News and New York Post of every newspaper I delivered. My flyer was in there for my cell phone business.
That's brilliant.
I'm getting paid to do my own advertising.
That's brilliant. I like that.
3-4 hours a day.
I like that.
I wanted routes for areas that you know what I mean? And it was great. I would just throw I'd open up newspaper, put my flyer in there, put the rubber band back around it, and throw them in there. Anyway, so Geek the Freaks walked in the neighborhood. And I think he's walking around with this other guy because they were doing like workouts and lawn care. It was like health and lawn care, right? So I wanted to do a door hanger, kind of like that, right? This is a sample door hanger we show everyone. I should have put it in the package I sent you. But that's our door hanger, right?
Right.
I get the right.
I like
it's blank. And it tells you the services right there. It tells you
your services.
Basic lawn services included mowing, trimming, edging, and blowing.
Yep.
And the price. Now think about this. And this is actually great quality, this door hanger. I mean, it's nice and thick. You don't have to get what we got, but anyway, it's got everything on there, our website, the address, the whole nine. Anyway, it takes the guesswork out.
Right.
Out. The customer already knows, look, mowing service, this guy's gonna trim, edge, and blow. You know how many customers we used to get when we were in New York? How many residential we used to get where the guy would buy $1,500, $2,000 on a brand new John Deere, whatever it was, tractor, and he'd buy his own weed eater, whatever. And once it hit 90 degrees, he didn't want to be out there no more. When it's cold and windy, he doesn't want to be out there no more.
Right.
Guess what? He'd rather be sitting back, drinking his beer, watching you, sweating your ass off, getting leg cramps while you're walking, right?
Right.
Oh, dude, I had many of those. So anyway, time-wise, just to call the guesswork out. There's no, well, you know what? Because think about it. If it's just a generic door hanger or an EDM or flyer, if there's no pricing on it, a couple of things go through their head. One is, well, I'm already paying Johnny Moe to cut my grass, and he's charging me $50. You know what I mean? How much does this guy? I'm not even gonna bother calling. Oh, maybe I'll call tomorrow, or who knows? This guy, this is pretty fancy. He probably charges a lot more money. Or I already do it myself. Guess what? This changes a lot. Mentally, this changes a lot. Because it tells you, all of a sudden, it tells you how much, right? If I put $1 on there, guess what? It really would catch me. What you got? I could let this blank and said $1. I'd be like, hey, what's this for $1? It catches your attention mentally.
Yeah.
So I was like, you know what? And I remember that video of
Geek the
what's his name? Geek the Freak walking in the neighborhood. And everybody's just talking, looking, because he's thinking the same thing like we do it. When you're walking, you get to see the driveway. You pretty much get it as a gate. You can pretty much tell from the sidewalk, can I fit a 36-inch? Can I fit a walk, a walk?
Right.
You pretty much, or is there a double gate? You pretty much know ahead of time. So, and when customer calls from a specific neighborhood, another example, Juggernaut. The Juggernaut will tell you, Kevin will tell you, I've been watching him for a long, long time. I sent him screenshots of when he had 300 something subscribers. Dude. So anyway, he did a video, right? And I liked him because I like it when families are involved, right? He did a video of they're doing door hangers, right? Me, I like to take data, and then I try and figure out, well, can I apply it to me? And what are they doing that doesn't fit what I need? Because that's the thing about YouTube, right? That's not on the channel that actually provide good content. What works for you might not work for somebody else. Markets are different. Pricing is different, right? So you have to figure out how it fits into your market, because your market will dictate everything. So I figured, you know what? This is great. With Juggernaut, he actually kept track of neighborhoods. Like when we were in the cell phone business, right? When we would put ads in the paper, we would put names in there. X for Tony, X for Kevin, X for Bob. And well, Tony's busy right now, but I can actually help you right now. Oh, well, I saw this ad. And what those names meant was the territory, was neighborhoods.
Oh, that's smart. That's really smart. So you know right where they're at. If they're coming, if they're from
If they're calling from Kevin, they're probably calling from the neighborhood that has like 20, it's one development that has like 50 homes or 100 homes.
Yeah, if they're out
that's
Snake Ridge
Kevin.
Holler, you can tell if they're out Snake Ridge Holler if they say their name's Kevin, or they're at Blue Hill Creek Road or Snake Road or whatever.
That's exactly it. We knew exactly which development they were calling from.
So you know the target your target demographic in that area, around the price rates of that area.
Yep. So we knew exactly.
I like that.
Just write the names on the board and write on there. Kevin equals whatever manor, Cortland Manor. Let's say Cortland Manor has 50, 60 regular single family homes, right? And you know exactly, because most of them are cookie cutters. Most of them, except for the corner lots, most of them are, because corner lots are usually bigger than everybody else. So you knew exactly how big they are. You already had an idea. And with pricing, there's no guessing. Right. You're almost like you're pre-qualifying the customer already.
Right.
And
they're calling, they already know the price. They're ready.
There's no guessing. And think about it. You already know, you wrote the price down. So you, in the back of your mind, you know exactly, wait a minute, this is how long, this is like a 15-minute cut, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, got so many mulch beds. You can tell a lot from the street. You're just walking by. And a lot of neighborhoods are no soliciting, right? So what I used to do is, I used to wear sweat jackets like this, sweatpants. I put my I didn't have earpods back then. They had the Walkmans with cassette tapes. I put my thing on like I'm jogging. I'm going out for a walk at 5 o'clock in the morning, right?
You're just hanging door hanger.
On my floor or my flyers would be in my pouch, right? Now with door hangers, you got to put if you're going to do door hangers now, unfortunately, a lot of times you might have to walk up the driveways, put them on the garage doors. Because everybody goes,
I get nervous. I get nervous going up. What I used to do is me and David, when he was part of my business, we and him went to a neighborhood. We actually got the cops called on us because he looked like a poor redneck and people were walking around. He's nice. Anyway, that's a different thing. But like, I didn't really like the idea of hanging the door hanger up on the handle. So I just punched a hole with a rubber band or whatever. I hung it on the mailbox flag. Mm-hmm. That way I'm out in the road. It's quick. It's fast. It's easy. They're going to mailbox. But then some people's like, they don't really like the idea of touching mailboxes, but I wasn't really touching the mailbox. I'm just hanging it on the little red thing. Everybody's got it, or I'd hang it on the front hook where they pull it down.
We got in trouble over that one year.
So be careful.
Postmaster from Bensalem, PA, called me up and said that they picked up all our door hangers and they threw them out. And that they, but we found out they didn't pick them all up because I had calls from certain neighborhoods. So they didn't get all of them. Like, listen, like we threw them all out. You can't do that. And they were on the flags. They were either on the flags or some mailbox actually had a handle to pull down, you know, the fancy metal ones. They had a handle to pull down. So this thing hooks right on there.
Yeah.
They threw them all out. So they said, well, if you come in, we can give you a discount on to do the whole EDDM. Come by, I can go over with the postmaster call. He said, well, we know the pricing for you. Whatever. You already threw on my door hangers. We got nothing else to talk about. Guess what? I want to figure out a different way. So a lot of people go into the garage door. So a lot of these would just go on the garage door. Guess what? I ain't getting in trouble with the postmaster, right? But in a lot of counties over here, you need a permit. Or you can get fined and even arrested because it's kind of soliciting, right?
Yeah. So, see, and that's why I think they call the cops. The cop didn't care, you know.
Yeah. Certain townships they do because it's a moneymaker. Like Lower Makefield, we in the beginning we tried hitting them big time. We have a lot of homes there now, but in the beginning we wanted to get over there, right? And they told us that it's not even the township. We would have to pay the police department. Basically, it's $75 a month. You have to pay for 3 months ahead of time. You're paying the police department, not the township, right? They need the plate number. Basically, copy of the registration of every vehicle that's going to be in that neighborhood, handing out flyers. And
everybody's got their fucking hand out.
And they sent me the forms. State police background check has to be done on every single person that's going to be going out to the door hangers. Because if something ever happens, they want to know who the hell's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it has to get renewed every 3 months. Otherwise, my permit expires.
That's so silly.
So, oh yeah. So you listen. If you want to get into certain neighborhoods, you don't give up. Figure out a way how to get in there. You know what I mean? Put up signs at their main entranceway. Be a pain in the ass. Or that's maybe where ADDM might. If you got to worry about the cops, unfortunately, that's where ADDM might come in. Yeah. When people used to say to me, hey, what do you got? When I was doing door hangers up to the garage doors, I would never sell them on anything. I would just tell them, hey, listen, I'm sorry, I'm just a new lawn care guy in the neighborhood. I just want to give my door hanger, if that's okay. If not, if they say, no, I don't want it, then just walk away. Say, all right, no problem. Thank you so much. Have a great day or have a blessed day, whatever, you know what I mean? Just be cool about it, man. Well, listen, life is great, man. I'm always, Mike, I'm happy for the most part. Like, yeah, it's all good, man. I'm sorry. You know, I mean, you might see a nice car in the driveway or whatever. You shoot the shit about that or whatever. We love cars. So, but that's really it. So when they see you, just say, hey, I'm sorry to bother you. I'm a new lawn care guy in the neighborhood. Just want to do my door hangers. If you need anything, right here. And I always, a lot of times I say this also. If you have any questions, even if your lawn care guy is doing something you're really not sure, feel free to contact us. Maybe we can help you.
Yeah, that's really good. I thought for a long time I wanted to get into a certain neighborhood, and that's when I ran into the cops, and they were not the cops. I'm not banging on them assholes, but like the cops were kind of cool about it. They were just doing their job. But like the people, the way they was looking at me in these certain neighborhoods that I thought I really wanted, but they get bombarded. I get it. These are $500,000 homes, $1 million homes, $250,000 homes, big expensive stuff. I thought that this is what I wanted. Then I come across the worst people I've ever dealt with. I only had a few accounts in these, but I told myself then, not this go around. I don't really know this area real well yet, but like, I'm real picky about where I spend my time at now, because I spent so many hours walking these neighborhoods and hanging these things and spending money on Facebook. I spent money on Google. I didn't do the EDDM on them, but I wanted to get into these neighborhoods, A, for the video, but B, I thought they'd pay more. I had better luck working for the pipeliner guy, or the guy just a regular welder who just didn't fucking feel like weed eating. So he just said, just do my yard, do the whole yard. I don't feel like weed eating. Just for weed eating alone, he was willing to pay me $50 a week, so he didn't have to weed. And so I was like, I wish I would have been more business minded at the time to capitalize on those situations. But it's, like now my phone is my old phone number is my niece's phone number now. her phone blows up nonstop because my SEO work finally took off. Well, I ended up deleting that website, deleting the Google My Business and stuff. I had to because the phone was nonstop. Bang, bang, bang. It takes about 2 years. I didn't realize when building a website, because I'm not on this new adventure, I'm not sure about my name right now. It's still like Jesse James Outdoor Services. I'm comfortable with that because I can't sell that name, and you can't sell my, so like before I build another one, but I already told Kayla, hey, it's going to take about 2 years or so before the SEO work really takes off. So like flyers, banners, door hangers is important.
I think SEO and door hangers have their or EDM has their place. Like if you live, like from what I heard, like if you live where KH and Ben are and out in from Acme, you can't do door hangers.
It's illogical. Properties.
Yeah, so you would have to do EDM and try to get your name out there somewhere else. I personally, I don't know if I'm a big fan of it. I think SEO is great to a certain point,
right?
Because you might get like the drip coming in, right, of customers. Listen, I don't care about the drip coming in. You know what I mean? I need to develop a game plan and customers. I got bills to pay.
Right.
You know what I mean? I need, and I know some people don't like it, but there's a famous quote by someone famous, you might know him, massive action. Big tall guy. No? Motivational guy.
Tony Robbins?
Tony Robbins.
Oh, okay.
So he used to say years ago, massive action, massive action. Hey, listen, if you guys haven't yet, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, because we're dropping all kind of bombs, not even bombs, we're dropping boulders here today. You're not gonna get any of this info anywhere. I promise you that.
Yeah, that's very true. But I don't know. Life and business, it's beautiful. And I think that goes back to the earlier point, way on in the beginning, that not everybody's cut out for it. Getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, spending hundreds of, dude, I still got thousands of Black Fork Lawn and Snow flyers, door hangers and flyers. I got like 10,000 of them that I never got to use. And I was like, fuck. You know.
Here's a question. Why can't you keep Black Fork?
I want to start all the way over. Well, okay.
I'm just asking.
Yeah. I thought about it. Caleb mentioned the same thing. Because I got
what's wrong with Jesse James? What's wrong with Jesse James?
It don't feel professional to me because it's my name. Like I see Bob's Lawn Care, Johnny's Lawn Care, Rich's Lawn Care.
And Jesse James is a unique name.
Right. And that's why Caleb's one forced me to go with the outdoor services right now until I get another mower and a whole new setup to where that's why I'm just focusing on the pressure wash rig setup right now. But like, I wanted to keep the Black Fork because I already got all the shirts. I got like 13 or 14 shirts made.
So you know what? Junk all that. Put that behind you. You're starting up from scratch.
Right.
Why can't you use Jesse James Outdoor Services?
That's what I just started using. That's what I just started using. And I ordered business cards, which I'm not super excited about, but I've already ordered them. Got 1,000 of them coming, and I plan on with them I'm gonna walk my neighborhood, because I don't really know this neighborhood real well. I'm in a brand new area pretty much, and my plan is take them business cards until I find a flyer and just look at it and probably do the same thing. Now it's like $35, or let's see, it's a single story home. I can pressure wash that house, do that real quick for $250.
If you get a chance, just my opinion, right? Forget the whole business card thing. Get yourself a flyer where you can write the price on, or get yourself a door hanger.
I like them door hangers a lot. That looks so much better. I really like that idea that you brought that up. That is so good.
So much better than a business card.
Yeah.
Just think about it. People see the business card and like, whatever.
Everybody's
That's
got
like the guy who throws a little sandwich bag with a business card and rocks in the bag. Yeah. People were doing.
I've never seen that. I've heard of that.
Listen, I remember this way before YouTube even existed. Back when LAWNSCAPES.com was a big place for lawn care guys.
I read some of them forums. Yeah.
Yeah. Guys on there were saying, "Oh no, I get business from putting my business card in sandwich bags. I just drive down the street, throw them out the window." You know what? I can use my time and energy and money way more efficiently than that. Tell you what, how about I just get some door hangers? I don't have to get double side. I can get the single side, right? Save me some money and get a little box. Keep it simple. This is what I'm offering: mowing, trimming, blowing, edging. Write down the pricing. Got a nice picture on it. Got my website. Keep it simple.
Yeah.
Why are we
They got good
complicating
stock
it?
photos on there. On at least on Vistaprint, they got really good stock photos to where,
There you go.
you know what I mean? So I definitely agree. That's kind of the
Think about
move.
this. On Vistaprint, you can get them now pre-printed with
Yeah.
pricing on there. So let's say you knew the certain neighborhoods you wanted to make all your
Oh, that's a good
lawns
idea. Yeah.
$25. You don't even have to write it down. Let's say you don't like let's say you weren't comfortable with your handwriting, but you knew most of the houses you're gonna hit, the average was $25 or $35. Guess what? You can go to Vistaprint for 50, 60 bucks. You can order 100, not even a lot, 100, 150
Yeah.
door hangers. Think about it. You can still have time to change your name then. You can be Blackboard today or something else tomorrow.
Yeah.
When those door hangers go out, because your customer is going to be calling you Jesse, not the name of your company.
Right. That's
You
true.
know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, that's really true.
They're not going to remember your name, your company name. They're going to remember either your personal name or your guy's name. When they call, guess what? They're not calling to ask for Jesse Day Outdoor Services or I'm looking. No, I'm calling for lawn care.
Right. I want lawn care. Oh, that's why I like in the last digits of yours was, let's say 555 lawn.
Yeah, that's what mine is.
That's
Mine is 215-785 lawn.
Well, it's brilliant. How you did that. Me and Kayla was looking at that. I was like, man, imagine having like, if I only focus on pressure washing or only focus on whatever, if I had like wash or lawn or grass or house, or I can't do house, but something, do something like that. You can probably do house. No, that's fine. But still,
that was our business landline. And
brilliant.
Verizon wanted to know if we had anything particular we wanted. I said, yeah, I needed to end with 5296, right? And the problem was in the beginning, right, when we started, I was missing a lot of calls, right? So, and I wasn't getting the message. And this was, you learn along the way, you know what I mean? So, I wanted it instantly, right? So I have AT&T. All my iPads are AT&T. Everything's AT&T. So I ported my number over from a landline to the cell phone. So now, guess what? Every time that thing rings, unfortunately, you get like Google your business or everyone trying to sell you something marketing wise. So even with local numbers, which is messed up.
Yeah.
But
yes.
it's part of it's part of entrepreneurship. It's part of being a business owner. You know what I mean? You just gotta take it with it, nothing you can do about it. No, what's the point of me bitching about it? It's wasted energy. I got other shit I can focus on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I want to bring home, I gotta bring home dinner to my wife, you know what I mean? Hopefully I can get a little something, you know what I'm saying? So
right.
So listen, I have a different view on things, you know what I mean? So I talk a lot of shit, but I started being more vocal about things because, and honestly, a lot of guys, guys we know, they'll tell you I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? And my ways might not be always the right way. I don't know everything. I am constantly learning. We don't have I don't have time for the GIE. You know why I don't have time for the GIE? Because it's on during we're aeration. We make a lot of money during aeration overseeding. And that is the peak time, right? And aeration overseeding, you have a small window, right? So, and we aerate a lot. So, but we also have our version of the GIE. We have 2 different shows in Jersey. Every spring, every February. That's when the GIE should be going on, right? How much work are you doing during February? Yeah. What lawn care are you doing in February?
Yeah.
So Jersey has two different ones. 2 different places. They have 2 different ones in February. One's in the beginning of February and one's at the end of February. So, but listen, how do I put this? That's why I'm focusing on 2023. I know what equipment we have, and anyway. I don't know if I answered your question. That's how we got into street sweeping. What happened was we had an offer again. My wife hated lawn care. I'll send you a video. She even says in the video, she's out there street sweeping with me. So anyway, we decided all these other it would always come up. But Walgreens always came up. Other companies kept coming up. There was not enough guys in the area cleaning parking lots. So I didn't understand pricing wise, right? So I'm still learning. You know what I mean? So I've only been doing this a few years. So my wife and I decided, you know what? We can get good money if we walk away right now, because we had multi-year contracts, and that's what you want. So when you buy a business, you want those multi-year contracts. It's guaranteed money every month.
Right.
So the street sweeping was something that we can do together, because she hated lawn care. She hated dealing with the employees, the drama. You are the boss, the father, the psychologist, yeah, pretty much everything, actually.
Right.
So, you know what I mean? What hat am I wearing for this minute, not that day? What is your primary malfunction today,
Yeah.
David? So the money was there. So I'm like, well, fuck, let's just do this. You know what I mean? And I got back into, I didn't mean to get back into, I got back into lawn care, but my wife got sick. You know what I mean? A few people actually in lawn care know about my wife being sick and stuff. She's been sick for the past couple of years. So, but I'll talk to you about that off the air. But a couple of people actually know. Actually, I think I might have discussed it briefly when Acme interviewed me, but might be in that video. But it's been tough, man. It's been a tough couple of years for us. So I was not prepared the first time she got sick. I didn't have insurance, right? So, you know, I've got a couple $100,000 bills here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Hospital stays are not cheap. Yo,
that's scary.
An ambulance rides a 400 and change a pop. Who that? A 2-minute ride. I can put her on a zero turn and drop her on.
Well, and that's another, those are private companies. You know, the ambulance services are private companies. And I made a video about 8 months ago talking about Medicare for all. And I know a lot of people don't like it because everybody wants to be like, rah, 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 Trump, Trump, Trump. I'm a Republican. I was like, this is my view, is why do you align with any certain politician and vote against your interest? Why not just say, okay, if we are mandated to get, let's say car insurance, let's just use car insurance because Medicare and politicians is such hot topic.
Yeah.
We're mandated by the government. This is way off topic, but we're mandated by the government. This is my own thoughts. I'm just an average idiot moron just trying to figure life out. Well, we're mandated by the government to get a private company. I have to get Virgil's a car insurance. No, why not just, okay, I know no one wants to pay taxes, but if it's already mandated by the government's going to force you to do it. Just have, if you're a registered driver or something, then just, if you got a registered license and a registered car, then you have insurance, you have bare basic. Now you can move up in premiums and packages and plans. Now I like the idea of sole, what's it called? I like the idea of Medicare for all. I know a lot of people don't like it. A lot of people give me shit. They call me a crazy liberal and call me a whatever. But I think if you 100% only agree with whatever a certain politician says and you don't look at it, there's a nuance in everything. You know, we live in a world that's so reactionary. On Fox News said this versus CNN said that versus my favorite politician said that. Guess what? None of these politicians, they're all lawyers, they're all ball washers, and they're all liars. They're they're super good. They're used car lemon salesmen, as all these politicians are. And we all know all of them are corrupt, all of them are crooked. And they go on and they tell us what we should and shouldn't think, but we don't utilize that, or we don't utilize our own knowledge and say, would Medicare for all? Do I wait already right now in today's world? Do I already wait 4 hours in the emergency room for a broken leg? Yes. Now, is it every emergency room and every hospital or everywhere? Are you going to wait? Yes. Now, is everybody in England? Do they have to wait? Yes. Now, is that an issue? Why? Well, we already live in a world where most people have to be on Medicare anyway. And those people on Medicare, they can't just go to a doctor. They have to go to an emergency room because the system's already flawed. The system's already broken because people, 78% of all Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. Most of the time, let's say I'm working, I'm making $15 an hour, 17. I actually, let's use my real right now. I make $17.40 right now as a welder. The average welder rate's like 23 something. My old lady doesn't work. Now, when she did work, she was a waitress. Now you only get a couple days a week there, but you have to rely on somebody else to pay your bills because you make $2 an hour. The system all the way is flawed. All the way is broke, but we live in a world where success And capitalism, and I love capitalism. I think it's beautiful, but I'm talking about Fox News,
Yeah,
CNN
yeah,
view of it. We live in a trigger happy world where you're on this side or you're on this side, and there is no nuance ever because we have these politicians who are sitting there and dividing. And I see it in our own world. I see it everywhere. And I'm just like, none of this is real. All this is flawed. All this is fake. All this is bullshit. Guys, I'm voting against my interest here. But I'm also getting called a communist and I'm getting called a fascist at the exact same time. None of it makes any sense. It's all upside down.
I agree with you. Listen, we shouldn't have the two sides, right? It should be, what's this person going to do for me, my family? Right. How are we going to benefit? Me, I'm at the point where, I have pretty strong views on certain people in office, right? But I believe it should be, what's that person going to do for me? You know what I mean? I gave up on politics really after 2016.
So did I.
That whole showboat and pushing one guy out to push another guy in. I gave up. After that, I don't care who wins after that.
Yeah,
I'm at the point where
hold on. Well, my Facebook page right at the night of 2016 when we found out was this is the death throes to America, not because of a certain individual, but because of the showboat and the sensationalism and the brass. Like, now, did a lot of these things work out good? Yeah, but all the way around, I was like,
to me it was, and I'm not a Bernie. I'm not a Bernie supporter, but when they pushed out Bernie for the DNC to push Hillary in, and I was out. I was like, listen, I don't know who's going to win here, but it ain't good. Because listen, something's corrupt here if they're pushing one guy out. And this is not the first time he was told to shut up and sit in the corner.
Right.
So, and it's crazy because everything's out there. The videos, everything's out there. People would just do their own diligence, stop being followers, do their own diligence. To me, I'm at the point where I don't care who's in office, right? I care more about the Senate and Congress than the president because they're constantly putting new laws in. But at the end of the day, I just want to know what the tax laws are.
Right.
Just tell me what the tax laws are. So I know how I need to plan 2023, 2024, and so on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's all I care about. You know what I mean?
People put too much emphasis on the federal end of stuff, like the presidency alone. The president doesn't, in our beautiful system, when the way the Constitution is set up, we're not built on kings and emperors and to one president could say to another president and just upend everything they've done. So nothing's got accomplished in the past 20 years. Pretty much nothing has got accomplished except we have good clips for YouTube, and that goes from Bush all the way up to Biden now. They shouldn't dictate our lives. It should be our school board or our local mayor. These people who have real influence. I can go down and voice my grievances. You know, you're talking about the first 5 freedoms of the First Amendment. You know, when you voice your grievance or you petition the government or you stand for your religious rights, you could do that at your mayoral standpoint or your mayoral election, even up to state. The furthest you can affect anything is you can go up to your state representative. Far after that, it's all lawyers, K Street, lobbyists. It's all, but that's what gets the clicks.
And that's what people either don't remember or didn't learn in school for some reason, or just don't educate themselves on. Those are the primary levels that we should be worried about as everyday people. You know what I mean? You know, people don't get it. Like, we're not used to in this country, we're not used to rioting and shit like they do in other countries after voting, after voter frauds. You know, when the whole voter fraud thing, I don't care where you stand politically, listen, it's been going on around the world forever. That's why they have all these riots and shootings, you know what I mean, in these other countries, because something ain't kosher, you know what I'm saying? So, but people don't want to, you know, ignorance is bliss. You know what I mean?
Ignorance is bliss.
So, you know, the Nile's not just the river in Egypt. You know what I mean? It's easy to be, oh, no, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
That's true. I see a lot of people just put their head in the sand and they just wait for their certain favorite politician, whether it's on the left or the right, to dictate what they say. And it's just like, look, people didn't like the way people didn't like the way the election turned out. And unfortunately, whether you call it an insurrection or not call it an insurrection, I don't know. I just had this conversation with someone the other day. They were calling me out on it. They go, "You consider yourself an educated guy?" I was like, "Maybe." And they said, "How can you not call it an insurrection?" And I was like, "Because there was no guns involved." They said, "Well, did someone die? And was the crowd pushing the fact that what was going on inside the building? Stop if there was guns or anything. What was going on?" I said, they were trying to vote. They were trying to figure out the vote. And they said, "Okay, now what was the goal of the protest?" I said, "The goal of the protest was to stop the vote." They said, "Okay, do we live in a world?" And then, they just process of elimination. I was just like, gosh, that does kind of sound somewhat like an insurrection, just not really large, really big. So I don't know. It's such trigger happy. It's so driven.
That person that made that comment to you, I can shut them down easily with facts.
Okay.
Watch the videos. First one off the top is the guy named Gary. Joe Rogan did a whole video on it, a podcast on it. So many people did a podcast on it. There's a guy named, I forgot his last name, his name is Gary, right? He walks around with a Trump hat, right? He's telling people, no, we got to go this way, we got to go this way. And people are calling him feds, you know what I mean? And he was like, and think about this, who in the right mind says, well, he's yelling, well, I might get in trouble for this, but it's worth it. How come he was never picked up? How come he's not on the list to be picked up?
I wish the people would have never followed. That was my whole point of it, is I believe that those were all federal. I believe they were federal agents.
They were, here's more public record that people look up. There was close to 40 different groups there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. There's videos on Instagram where you have these Trumpers, or whatever you want to call them, right? They're not doing anything wrong. They're telling cops in riot gear, hiding behind the building, hey, how come you're not stopping this? So you tell me, how come that's not being broadcast? The videos are there.
Yeah,
it's not being videotaped somewhere else.
Yeah, something went right. I mean, if you even go back to like 9/11 and how certain different missions was happening on 9/11, where I'm not educated.
And you're right, it wasn't an insurrection, because if it was, there'll be a lot more people down there with guns proving a point.
Right. That was my whole situation.
For the people to say, oh, well, it wasn't, you don't get it. The reason why, I'll make this part quick so we can get off politics. The reason why Trump has so many followers, right, of different nationalities, is because the fact of the matter is, right, people are tired of the bullshit.
Right. And he was going to go in there like a bull in China shop.
He said it himself. I don't care about me. They're not after me. They're after you. This happened. If people pay attention to history, right? We pay how much for our cell phone? And how much we pay a month? How much is that a year? We pay how much for this thing? People just do their diligence. We're looking up on Facebook while we're taking a shit, right? If we just do our homework, right? We can see it happens in every country. When people are tired of the bullshit, guess what you get? You get an uprising. It's neighbors and neighbors. Doesn't matter what color you are, what nationality, what culture.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. That's why he has the following he has, because people are tired of the bullshit.
Yeah.
And people just listen to what these people are saying. They're tired of it. Yeah. And that's why.
And it's everywhere, because you go out anywhere in the great United Plains, you go out, and especially the heart of America, and you just say, man, something just doesn't feel right. Something doesn't feel right. And it's not race relations, because I think our race relations are actually really, really good. Way better than it was when I was coming up. So it's not that. I think it's a lot to do with wages. I think it's a lot to do with the Glass-Steagall Act, how in the Glass-Steagall Act, where different laws to where capitalism can run amok, Wall Street can run amok pretty much, and sensing it all up. So I think a lot of it boils down to, because I was the same guy who was for the Occupy Wall Street, and I was also for the Tea Party. I was a Richland County Blood of Patriots or something Tea Party. When they first started, it was actually a group of people who just got together, and it was a lot of young guys like me for the beginning of it. And the idea was to educate, teach each other what did the founding fathers, what did they try to build? What was the Enlightenment period? What does it try to, all that kind of stuff. So we had At that time, you had Occupy Wall Street, and that's what I think it all boils down to is Occupy Wall Street and the run amok of money. And like you look at the cross currency of when people don't get paid, they get irritable, agitated.
Yeah.
Rate of inflation right now, 40% of all money or something. I think I can't remember the number now. Was printed last year. That's scary. That's insane. We're starting to see the effects today. And we already know Bitcoin's kind of like the way out, maybe. But then again, it's like,
with Bitcoin, think about it, there's 21 million Bitcoins, right? 19 million of it is sold. You only have 2 million left. That's why it's so damn expensive.
Right. But that's going to change because I don't think, and I could be wrong. I don't think it's going to be a store of value. I think it's going to be our new currency where it's going to break down to Satoshis, but people are going to keep it just like a stock. People treat it like a stock. People treat it like an investment, and it's not supposed to be an investment. It's supposed to be a currency used.
Look at some of these countries that they're taking Bitcoin now, right? Isn't it El Salvador or one of them taking just strictly Bitcoin?
Yeah.
Listen, it is scary time. Whether people want to believe right now, it is scary time. It's even scarier now because of this war that's going on, right? This is not a small country.
Right.
The guy with the red country, right? I don't want to say it too loud because I don't know how it affects the algorithm. But he made it very clear the other day to pay for his gas, right? You can only pay in gold and ruble, right?
Taking off the dollar.
Why did we go into Libya?
Off the dollar.
Because of gold.
Yeah.
Why did we go into Iraq? Same thing. They were going to say, listen, we're going to do a gold thing. Listen, when Obama was president, right? We went into Libya. Gaddafi in Africa said, listen, we've got a lot of oil here, a lot of gold here. We want to go, we want to do it on the gold standard, and that's how we want to get paid. United States, listen, United States with the people, and I love this country. Well, we are a bunch of bullies.
Yeah.
The United States and other countries, it's something called the New World Order, right? They're like, we ain't having it. You remember something? Nixon took us off the gold standard. Before he was able to put us back on the gold standard, which he was going to do, the problem was he got impeached. Remember, he stepped down, right? Because of the whole Watergate. And the whole Watergate, listen, that's a whole rabbit hole in itself, because look what happened in the previous administration. How come no one's calling Watergate then?
Yeah.
So anyway, that's a whole rabbit hole itself. And that to me is just logic. So when I hear people say, oh, well, this guy, it's illogical to take their names out of the equation. You hear it all the time, make a list, pros and cons, cons and left. You take both these guys, make a list. The shit that this family has done and is doing, there's no way in hell the previous administration would have gotten away with half the shit. No way in hell.
And yeah,
just call it, and people won't call it what it is.
Right.
Oh, no. Listen,
everybody's scared.
It's not rocket science. Helen Keller and Stevie Wonder could see it. Take a piece of paper, put a line down the middle. This is what candidate A is doing, what candidate B is doing. Tell me who's the bigger fuck up.
Yeah, I see a lot of changes. Well, and these topics are something that never gets touched on in the grain industry, and that's another way of something. The reason why I like talking about Bitcoin, or I like talking about different theology stuff, because I think we as business owners should be smart enough to see the nuance, see the gray, be able to disagree. Like if me and you don't agree politically, fine. There's no reason that we have to murder each other at this end of it. Because my downstairs neighbor, we and him do not agree politically at all, and sometimes we talk, whatever. But guess what? Like, I always stomp and romp around up here. He stomps and does it. Well, he's old. He don't relate. Yeah. But he don't care. We get along good. I do a lot of stuff with him. We actually work in the same factory together. We're really good friends. And that's what I think the beauty of living in a society to where we've allowed media. They look at something like let's say something kind of off the topic, like they give us transgender bathrooms, and at the same time when transgender bathrooms is going on, that was a smoke screen. That was because most people look, say it or not, if you look like a girl, sound like a girl, whatever, no one's going to say anything for you going in there. No one's going to say anything. Okay. But if you incentivize it and you kind of stir up kind of gin it up and get the heat going, well, that allows our politicians to do something in the cover of darkness. Now, what got done that we don't know about? We'll find out in a few years from now,
Yeah.
And that's
always a few years from now.
Yeah. And that's where all the danger happens, to where look at what happens with that new guy. He finds all these politics. gosh, I can't think of his name right now, but he's like a journalist that he is a journalist that Vent starts with a V. Gosh, I can't remember his name, but he does hidden camera stuff and busts out these journalists all the time, and he does a great job. But now they're trying to kill him. They're just like Julian Assange. They're taking out Julian Assange. They take out all these different whistleblowers, and all these whistleblowers are the only way we're getting our truth. They're the only way we're getting any freedom. And
and you know what's crazy? The people that want to turn the blind eye, they don't. It's like they don't want to see it. The people that are coming forward to say, "Hey, listen, this is what's going on," they're the ones that their lives are in danger.
Right.
Because here they're trying to expose. Listen, you're being screwed. This is what's going on. But meanwhile, no one's looking at them at their life being in danger over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was Project Veritas is what I was thinking of.
Oh yeah. I remember that. I remember when they went in there to seize all that shit. But going back to finance, like I talked about with Brian Gardner, the trucker.
Right. I reached out to him.
Him and I used to be big contributors to certain channels, financial contributors. We stopped. You know what I mean? He had his reasons, I had my reasons. And him and I were talking one time about finance and stuff. And obviously there's good finance, bad finance. And I think, and you and I, you touched on it earlier. I think, and it probably goes for a lot of industries. I think a lot of guys in the lawn care industry don't realize the finance options that are out there and what's available for their future and what they should be thinking about their future, unfortunately. Because we should be thinking about our futures. Retirement and how do we pay for shit so we're not getting screwed over by certain equipment or financing stuff. That's why in a way some of the channels that are out there, I feel like some of the channels are pretty good. Some of them are entertaining. But I don't feel like there's enough business side. And granted, a few people told me that, you know what, they don't get the views. Unless it says new mower 2022 setup and shit like that. So the thing is, how do you get, you want the views? You know why? Because what's the point of you doing the work and how you get your message out there? Somebody might say, well, it's not about the views because, you're just thinking about the money. No, think about it. Well, yeah, the money's great because now it covers for the equipment or whatever and your time. But more importantly, if you're getting the views, that means you're getting your message out there.
Right. Yeah, 100% agree.
And that's how you got to look at it. If you're not getting the views, that means you're not getting your message out there.
Well, and I mentioned having a not on this one, but I mentioned to Juggernaut before, we're just throwing up a Patreon page where I was kind of really hesitant on having a Patreon page or even enabling, which I'm not able to, but enabling the contribute button at the bottom. Now, why would you do that if you have a business? What's the point of it? It's like, well, the time and money that it takes to make this content, and if someone consumes it, if they enjoy it, they don't have to be a patron. They don't have to contribute, but it's like also a good thing. Where I was pushing him,
maybe you mean for your channel? You mean?
Right? Yeah, I talked about it on my channel.
So there's nothing wrong. Let's say I was to devote time because I thought about it. I contacted a few people on Fiverr because I have a lot of plowing stuff. One of the videos I talked about the plow stakes, like I mentioned before, the orange and yellow. First of all, I don't care how much money you make in your side, in your day job, lawn care, plow, whatever. There's nothing wrong with getting another avenue of income. Right. Since when is it wrong for YouTube to pay you? Why is it wrong for you to have your Patreon or your membership? There's nothing wrong with that. It's another avenue for you and your family to generate income. They're paying for your knowledge. That's like someone saying, that's like you going to, like my son now, he's in the union, he's in the electrical union, right? And he goes work 4 days, he's 1 day in school. That's what how the union has him. You pay them, like if he was to branch out 1 year and go on his own, right? You're paying for that person's experience.
Yeah.
Right? You're paying that $65 an hour for him to do, or $150 an hour for him just to put your let's say your ceiling fan up. And someone will say, well, that's a lot of money, don't you think? Well, let's see. I went to school. I paid my dues. I paid my union dues forever. I went to school for so long. You paid my knowledge. So when you're doing your YouTube or your podcast, there's nothing wrong with having your PayPal link, your Patreon link, or your membership. Because for one, you're doing it for a number of reasons. One, generate income for your family.
Right.
Two, let's say you wasn't going to do that. Let's say you need all that money to put it back into your equipment. It's not right and not fair to you to take money out of your lawn care business and put into your podcast and not get money back.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. In order for you to run your podcast, you need the donations.
Right.
You need the donations for you to get your word out. Right? If people want the word out, they're going to pay it.
Right. Yeah, that's totally and I think our genre is still so small and so new to all of it, where Kevin and all these other guys are just now getting some light shed with their ASMR transformational tall grass videos, where we're going to start seeing a lot more people flood in, whether we know it or not. It's coming, and it's coming quick, so that's what get in now. If you want to have a video, get in now, because in time, 1,000 subs used to be a lot. Now it's nothing.
And as far as equipment goes, I want to touch on this too, man. As far as equipment goes, I mentioned this before, and you mentioned on it slightly about, about equipment and envy and stuff. Listen, and I was talking to Jim and him about it too one night. And listen, if all you have and can afford is a Craftsman mower, then use what you can afford.
100% agree.
You can make YouTube videos with a Craftsman mower, a Craftsman weed eater, and a Craftsman blower.
Yep.
There's a guy on YouTube now, I forgot the name of his channel, I have a screenshot of it. I don't know where he is. He does tall grass videos with a push mower.
You was talking about him the other day. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to check him out. But what,
dude, I'm not good for him. He's in my phone. I'm going to have to find it and send it to you. I got to find it.
Southeast by Soft Wash is another pressure washing company. He says your gear or your mission drives the gear you need, because he also sells skids, pretty expensive soft wash rigs, where he high dollar stuff. But he'll tell people, look, you probably don't need this. Don't contact me unless it's this, and this, because he's about taking your money. But I think he's got some sort of morals about him, because he say like, if you can do it with a 2 gallon a minute machine or whatever, your mission, what you're doing, your work is going to drive the gear you actually need. I don't need to go out and spend $2,000 on a hot wash system to where I'm never going to use you can rent. My point is, you can rent. If you can rent and keep your profits high, if you're only doing 1 or 2 jobs a year, you don't need an $8,000. You know what I mean? Well, it's just the same thing with big mowers. You don't need the big fancy. If you can get away with, if you're only doing a couple yards a week and you got a push mower, a $300 Husqvarna push mower, go with that.
I can make a trailer tomorrow, just make it all Craftsman shit, and just do videos of me cutting lawns with just my Craftsman stuff.
Yeah.
Anybody, and I'm getting paid through my lawns. Right? Anybody can do it. Yeah. You know what I mean? We didn't. It's another thing I wanted to touch on real quick that I don't know if it came out the wrong way. Listen, I got nothing against the people selling the forums, like the stuff that I sent you free. I got nothing against the people that want to sell their stuff, because I don't want to sound like I'm ever knocking another person's hustle. If your hustle is to sell programs, then that's your hustle. You know what I mean? That's what you want to do. You want to make money selling programs and T-shirts and contracts. I mean, listen, Johnny Moe last year, he was selling some kind of form for $20. Where everybody's listen, you've got bills to pay. That microphone costs money. That headphones cost money.
Yeah.
Did it come from money from podcasting, or did it come money from your job or lawn care or power wash?
Yeah, I wish it came.
You took it. You didn't take it from money that you got for podcasting. You took the money from somewhere else. So you know what? You need to recoup that money. So what do? You got to put down a link. Hey, listen, if you want to support the channel, you don't have to donate anything. But I guess you have to. I don't know what you have to do to get a membership. But what do you have to do to offer memberships?
I don't really know. I'm not even at my YouTube part yet. Like I still got like 1,000 hours to go before I can even
Okay.
hit YouTube.
Okay. So there's nothing wrong with asking. Let's say you can ask for membership, right? There's nothing wrong with it, because think about it. It costs time, money. You got to run the internet, the headset, the mic. What if the mic goes? What if it
Right.
shit costs money? You shouldn't be taking. That's like robbing Peter to pay Paul. Let me take money out of my power washing account to put in my podcast. And when my podcasting should be just a podcast generating money.
Yeah, I 1,000% agree. The people don't look at the media stuff. Like I had someone comment the other day saying I spit into a bottle, and they said, "Can't you do that on your own time?" And I thought to myself, this is my time, but at the same time, I'm making the content for them. But if they were paying me, which they're not, I'm getting no, I have no, whatever. So I'm thinking, so I commented back, saying, you don't have to watch. Like, no, you don't have to watch. I was kind about it to say, do we have to watch this on, can't you do that on your own time? I said, no, you don't have to watch. And that was, and they unsubscribed, fine.
But like, don't watch the channel.
Don't watch the channel, because as of right now, no one's paying me to do anything at all. You know what I mean? Now, if that guy was kicking me a couple bucks or whatever, and asked me nicely to, hey,
I was gonna say, it's not like he's paying you or she, whoever it is.
Right. Yeah. And well, it kind of caught me off guard. I'm like, what in the world? Like, of all the negative comments that you can think of, it was me spitting. Like, can't you do that on your own time? I was like, whose video do you think you're watching? Like, what are you talking about? You're done. This is my time.
I'd be like, here's another idea. Make your own damn podcast and you don't spit in a bottle. How about them apples?
Well, yeah. And that's the thing is, there's so much time and so much work that goes into it. Like you said, you're kicking around. I like the idea of you kicking around the idea of doing like a lawn care news, where One Love did whatever before he did lawn care news, but he walked away from it, whatever the reason. I don't know. I wasn't watching at that time. But for someone to actually do a lawn care news, I think that'd be a good segment to break into. I think that's a great idea. I hope you end up doing something like that.
I want to do it, and I mentioned it to One Love a while ago. I want to do it where it's
I wouldn't even bring One Love into it. I mean, maybe I would. I don't want.
No, I asked. I don't know if I was going to bring him in. Really, I asked him if it was okay, because it was really his idea.
Right, it is his idea. That's what I'm saying. He did it for years before. So I didn't see him.
I messaged him on Instagram, and he said, "Yeah, but you want to take you on with it." I want to make a segment where it is really just lawn care news.
Right.
Talk about the H2B program, just so people understand it. Either that, or talk about what new fertilizer program or new fertilizer chemical came out, or like a brief thing. Hey, this came out, or like, why is fertilizer so expensive right now? Because of Russia. This fertilizer, ammonium nitrate. This went up a while ago. Yeah. Russia knew this was going to happen. They were hoarding ammonium nitrate for a long, long time.
So all farms.
40% of the world's, they were hoarding it, because they knew shit was going to hit the fan. So that's why, but people don't realize the long-term effects of how it affects food and everything else. I mean, listen, lawn care is a, what's what I'm in for? It's a service that people don't need to have. They can mow their own lawn. They can follow their own 4, 5, 6 Scott program themselves. You know what I mean? And treat their own lawns or whatever.
Luxury service.
It is luxury service. So I wanted to do one segment where the lawn care news week, where a brief, like a 20-minute shot or 30-minute shot of just what's going on in real lawn care. These are laws that change real quick. There's a new fertilizer that just came out. If you're into fertilizer, or there's a new insect that came out, please watch out for this, and or what new law, whatever, or just something brief. You know what I mean? Maybe quick weather thing real quick, and make it that a little entertaining, obviously, because I am entertaining. So
I'm trying. I like what you're trying to do, because what I'm trying to do is have a coalition of people together. I want to put it under the banner of like Juggernaut Media, and have Kevin be the head of it. And he's kind of shot me down on it. He's got so much different things going on. But I'm like, dude, like, I offer a podcast. Like, why can't I make videos, like make a whole new channel under a banner And like, because you can look at analytics and see what channel's doing best, what's doing best, but like have a channel of like a media channel of lawn care guys that coalesce together, divvy it up. However, I don't know that back end of it, but just ride each other's coattails and then get a message, find a consolidated message that's important. Like, have a lawn care news segment on it. Have like, someone like me that's like, just talking to someone on different segments. And the whole idea of you go to that channel, it's more for total informational, no entertainment, but it's like you get the lawn care news on that channel, you get to get the backstories on certain people and different topics. And I don't know, just like the juggernaut media idea, I've been trying to push Kevin into it, and people just consolidating together to find a consolidation message to broaden out, because we all have a reach. And I just want to touch as many lives as possible with spreading the idea of, hey, if you, not the idea of entrepreneurship, but the idea of side hustle too, simple stuff like, I don't know. It's just little things that I've been bouncing around.
He's got a lot of play. He sent me, and I felt bad because he was messaging me 3:00 in the morning, it's raining, and I can't get the bags up. I get wear rubber gloves because all this garbage is. The one thing about street sweeping is what people don't understand is you spend more time outside the truck than you do in the truck. Yeah. Because when you're bidding, the garbage cans have to get empty. You have to buy the bags, you know what I mean? And then you have to dump them. You either use one, more likely you have to pay for a dumpster somewhere. So he was messaging me, it's like 3:00 in the morning, and I felt bad because I'm trying to message him back and shit. And he's like, yo, you gotta put a GoPro here, and he's talking about street sweeping, and time is my problem. A great idea. But I knew a guy in Florida that had a video YouTube channel, and I think it was called Parking Lot Treasures. And basically, he's in Florida, he's in his shorts and wearing his Crocs. He's getting in that truck just to pick up stuff, because my truck, I can't pick up diapers and stuff. And you find stuff, you find a lot of money, right? Wow. I found brakes. Like someone actually took a hand truck. They put a brand new moving blanket and brand new dollies. They covered up these boxes, and in these boxes were brand new, never opened brakes for a Cadillac ATS. They either fit the Cadillac ATS from 2017 to 2020, something like that, or the new Camaro. It's got a list of all new cars. So someone stole them. Yeah, covered them up, then they put them back. Now, the problem is they're on the grass by near the entrance of ShopRite, of the shopping center, right? I can't leave anything on the grass.
You have to take that. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I found one time 7 cases, they were expired, 7 cases of vape juice with nicotine. They were all expired. I'm like, what am I gonna do with this shit? I wanted to throw them out, but I asked my friends, I'm like, yo, you can sell that shit. I'm like, yo, can I get in trouble? It's got nicotine in it. I mean, it expired 2019. I just found them a few months ago. I don't know how long that store had them.
Yeah.
But I found that if you constantly find money here, especially on windy days, you constantly find 20, 30. I found a wallet one time, no ID, had like bullshit stuff in there, and it had $80. I found, you obviously come across your needles a lot of diapers, colostomy bag, unfortunately. I don't know who the hell throw that in the parking lot. Tires, people doing brake jobs and shit, like all stuff your truck can't pick up. But I'm trying to think good-wise, something of value. The brakes, vaping, and money. That's pretty much it. So the garbage cans have to be cleaned. The sidewalks have to blow off everything off the sidewalks onto the street, and then all the grass can't be. There can't be any garbage on the grass. So when you're bidding,
you gotta clean it all.
Yeah. So you have to, because a lot of people say to me, well, how do you bid that? Like by the space, by the length of the parking lot, by the spaces? Well, no, it's time, because you're not cleaning the whole parking lot every night. You're doing mostly, their main priority is the garbage cans. Because those certain garbage cans, like I won't do Walmart, but I did do Walmart I learned my lesson, but like last year, I think it was, the garbage cans always overflowing. Target, a lot of times, the garbage cans overflowing. So that's after one day. You know what I mean?
So you're there
So
every night have to do that.
every night. Yeah, my only night off is Tuesdays. So it worked out to be Tuesdays because I needed one night to myself. And at the time, my wife's a nurse. So before she got sick, and then it was our night just to hang out.
Yeah.
So, but she would come out with me in the truck because this was our gig, you know what I mean? So, but and Tuesday night I realized that because you get paid, I get paid every month, the same amount every month, doesn't really matter. How much garbage, how little garbage. Some months I pick up more garbage, some months less garbage. So you guys spend more time outside the truck. You know what I mean? Cleaning the parking lot is the easy part. You know what I mean?
Backpack blowers and stuff.
Well, no, I just take the blower to blow the garbage, to blow the cigarette butts and stuff off the sidewalk into the street. And then my sweeper, when I'm done, the last thing I do at every site, I have 5 sites. The last thing I do at every site is I run the sweeper.
Right.
Because that part is the easy part and the quickest part. I lose time doing the garbage cans, hand picking the garbage, blowing off the sidewalks. Because you look at one shopping center, how long would it take you to walk the whole shop, do the garbage cans, hand pick all the lawns. I mean, all the islands have grass. You got to get all the garbage off there. What are you doing? You're hand picking them. So that's where you lose your time. As far as cleaning the parking lot, that's the easy part. Because you can clean it up in no time and your truck's doing all the work. You know what I mean?
Them trucks pretty high dollar then, I take it.
It is, but I have a simple truck. My Swerve sits on it's a 2017 Silverado. So picture taking a 2017 Silverado single cab, taking off the bed, and the sweeper sits on where the bed goes.
And the sweeper goes off the sides?
It's one big unit that sits on the frame.
Yeah.
But it drops right behind my cab.
Oh.
So take off the bed of your pickup truck. Your pickup truck with the plow, was that a single cab or a extended cab?
Single cab.
So think about it. Take the bed off your truck and the whole blower, one piece, gets dropped on top of there. So basically, it's got it's got 2 vacuums, right? It's got a carriage on the bottom. The carriage, you drop the carriage, and then I have a 2-yard box in the back where it'll hold 2 yards worth of garbage. It's small. I only sit on a 1500 chassis. Yeah. So, but it's enough of what I do. I don't do street construction or anything like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, point of entry on that, you can get a used one with like maybe 50, 60,000 miles. You can pick up a used one for like 30 grand. New, well, now trucks are even more expensive. But back then, yeah, you pick one up for under 100 grand. You know what I mean? So, but you don't have to get that. You can start off with a garbage can on a dolly, some bags, the little dustpan with a broom, how it drops down. And garbage bag. You can start cleaning parking lots, small parking lots with just that.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good I was looking at different upsells on parking lot, the striping, painting, doing small parking lot. And I'm not talking about like Walmarts and the big stuff, but small mom and pop ones. You can go in there and figure out your price to paint, figure out how much you want per hour, and work it up and be like, hey, your parking lot, kind of looks pretty dull. Paint the line.
Oh yeah. Listen, I was talking to this guy Ron. I'm sure you've seen Ron's Power Washing.
Yeah.
Very bright gentleman. And I was talking about Billy Davidson. Billy Davidson's got, I'm sure you heard of Billy Davidson on YouTube. Oh. He does power washing. He sells packages. He does the whole striping thing. He does the equipment, but whenever he does it, he's always power washing. He's power washing parking lots. But someone told me that he has to do it where he is because it's very moldy and dirty, whatever. I had never seen anyone power wash a parking lot before they stripe it. Like with the 2 of the shopping centers that I do, they're under the same property management company. And this guy I don't know when his contract is up. This guy had a 3-year contract just to do the striping and the handicap parts. And then obviously when COVID hit, everybody was doing pickups. So he had to they were having stencils made, and he would have to get the right paint to get the stencils printed on the parking lot. Anyway, that's all. That's actually a lawn care guy. He does lawn care during the day, and they're striping at night.
That's a good idea.
Yo, dude, this guy, if there's garbage in the parking lot that I got to pick up, right? They'll let me. I always ask, yo, where you gonna, or they'll let me know where they're gonna be, because supposedly the paint dries quick. I never want to take a chance because I don't want to get the paint on my truck. But they don't blow anything off. They actually walk around my garbage. They'll leave my garbage in the middle of the spot. They know I'm coming around anyway, and then they just paint it. Yo, they sit on a machine, right? And this is last year. The year before, they didn't even have that. They had like a walk behind machine that I think he said he paid like $2,000 for it on Amazon or something. And dude, he's got a 7x14 trailer. Now he's got 2 machines and they're sit down. But before he had walk behind sprayers, he paid $2,000 brand new. He buys the paint and think about it. He's got a 3-year contract for all these shopping centers. So it's guaranteed money.
And you just go paint them whenever they need it, or?
Yeah, that's what I'm like, yo, how the hell this guy he paints whenever he wants. He paints whenever he wants, whatever he wants. Like one night he might just do all the stop sign. One night he might do all the handicap. Because you're on a handicap, you got the white, and then you got the blue over it. And then another time, and then you also got to do the blue by the curbs or whatever. Dude, he just does it however he wants, man. You know what I mean? He's got one nice truck, and he's got an old beat up Ford, like a 77 Ford or whatever that the guys drive around, and the nice truck pulls the trailer, obviously. So, but it's money, man. It's not an avenue for money.
Yeah. And
they don't clean shit.
Yeah,
they go all day.
That's a really good hustle. So, all right. Well, we're pretty far into it, about 2 hours or so into it.
Yeah.
I appreciate you coming on.
Yo, I appreciate it, man.
You're a wealth of knowledge, and I definitely appreciate you. Everybody, we'll send it to your YouTube, not your YouTube. Well, your YouTube be on there too, but your Instagram link, that's mostly where you're at. So hopefully you start putting out YouTube content. Everybody else, all the links will be in the description below. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit all the buttons. Y'all know how it is. Definitely appreciate you. Anything else? Let's see. It was a good show. I enjoyed it. I learned a lot. Appreciate you guys. See you later.
Take it easy.